Hey, you're listening to Shack Together. Today we've got TJ Denzer. They are hot on the heels of Tokyo Game Show coverage and have a lot to share, most notably in the form of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater and Monster Hunter Wilds. Two juicy previews for you. After we cover what we've been playing lately, we head over to a little game I call Whence I Hail. If you listened last week, you know I threw quite a curveball, and so this week I've flipped the tables, and that's all I'll say for now. See if you can figure out what I mean. Story time is hefty. We've got quite a bit of F-Zero news. As you can imagine, Asif is in his glory. We cover a number of reviews, including the Jackbox Naughty Pack, Hollowbody, and I Am Your Beast. Then it's over to Newsa, what I'm calling our news segment, Disney Dreamlight Valley. We've got an update. Avatar: The Last Airbender gets a AAA video game adaptation. Oh boy. Ryu Jinx gets shut down. Palworld is headed to mobile, courtesy Krafton, despite their ongoing legal battles. Sakurai wraps up his YouTube persona, and OpenAI hits an unbelievable valuation. All this on today's show. We are going to dive right in. Here we go.
You know how I kind of like to use the cold open space to make fun of the Browns?
Yeah.
I left out a bit of information last time I was talking shit about the Browns, and I'd like to bring it up now. Deshaun Watson actually had a good game this weekend, and they still lost because they got penalty. Like, typical Brown shit. They had a penalty called on them that called back an 82-yard touchdown, all this stuff. And then, the last play of the game, there were 3 people open in the end zone. He didn't throw it to any of them. This is that guy, who had a bunch of sexual misconduct cases and all this stuff. He has a burner account on Twitter, and his name on there is just legendary. It's Leroy Bickerstaff. Does that not sound like a auto-generated 2K player?
It sounds like a Key and Peele sketch character.
Yeah, or like a Key and Peele sketch for sure. And it's important to note that the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers up until last season was JB Bickerstaff.
That's why I know that. Okay, yeah.
So and there's Bernie Bickerstaff, his father. So it's like everyone's like, "Come on, dude! You could have picked something other than Bickerstaff." But yeah, he's still posting from the Leroy Bickerstaff account. People keep calling him out for being it's like Kevin Durant had all those burner accounts where he would interact with his haters. So yeah, there's Leroy Bickerstaff out there on Twitter, and if you see him, you should just talk shit to him. But yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna have to make a player in my NCAA dynasty mode for 2013. Like, I'm gonna have to make a Leroy Bickerstaff now.
Yeah, man, that's canon now.
He's too good. Yeah. No, so it's just funny to see the Browns losing and Leroy Bickerstaff popping off on Twitter. And then meanwhile, the Detroit Lions won again. It's pretty cool.
And that's your team, you've moved on from the Ohio teams now. Yeah. Okay.
And meanwhile, in Detroit, Jared Goff, 18 for 18 in a game. He didn't miss a single pass, which is outstanding. And what's really funny about that, how they give game balls out at the end of the game in the locker room?
Yeah.
The head coach didn't know that the quarterback set a record for most completions. He threw a perfect game. They didn't even know. So he's in the post-game press conference and they're like, "Did you know that Jared Goff threw 18 for 18? He's like, "I had no idea." He's like, "I feel really bad, man. I just gave the game ball to somebody else."
Wow.
So they corrected it. The next day they gave him the game ball, but it's still just really funny. They killed it and they didn't even people were like, "Oh," the coach, he was so locked into the game, he didn't know what the stats were. So someone hands him the stat sheet in the post-game press conference, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." But anyway, tale of two cities right there.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have Jared Goff than Leroy Bickerstaff, I guess is the point. Anyway, we can start the show.
All right. Well, thanks for the
Leroy Bickerstaff info.
No, it's good. We need that NFL update, so thanks for that.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely better than this thread you put here. Oh, shit. listening to Shack Together, a Shacknews video game podcast where if you're not together, you're a listener. I'm your host, Asif Khan, and today I'm not joined by my co-ghost, John Benyamine, who's probably haunting the metaverse or even our Discord right now. But I am joined by our producer, Joe Stasio.
Hello.
And TJ Denzer, senior news editor there at Shacknews.
Hey.
We were going to have Greg on. We tried, but he got sick. So no Greg today, but we tried. I want the record to show I tried to have Greg on the show. But yeah, TJ, you made it back from your travels to Japan. You know, you've been a lot of places this year. I was thinking about that. Like you've been to Vegas for Evo or LA for stuff. And then San Francisco a few times. You went to Europe. And then
I make it over to California pretty regularly with the events we do, just because like most of the companies we work with are positioned there.
Uh-huh.
But like San Diego, London, Czech Republic, and Japan were all not on my list this year, and like places I've never seen before in my career. And it was just wild that they've all happened in the same year.
Did you go to Iceland this year too?
That was last year.
Okay, I was like, God, I'm like, where else has he been? But yeah, you went to Eve Fan Fest last year. Yeah, so I remember you were posting pictures of like the Northern Lights and stuff.
Yep,
that's cool. So yeah, you're in Japan for Tokyo Game Show. You and Greg were on assignment, and you got to play a bunch of games and see a lot of games. So we usually start the show with asking people what they played. But you know, what did you play at TGS? Maybe
I played a whole bunch of things. Some of the favorites that I ended up playing while I was out there. We got to play a demo of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
I call it Metal Gear Triangle. Metal Gear Solid Triangle. But yeah, Delta.
We played a demo of Monster Hunter Wilds.
A few demos, it looked like.
Yep, 2 of them. Nice. And there was a couple others that were just like I of course played the newest version of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves because they had Mai Shiranui in there as playable character.
Uh-huh.
And this other game from another Chinese company, S Game, Phantom Blade Zero, which it looks like a Souls-like from first glance, but it's so much closer to the duels that you would have with bosses in Sekiro.
Oh.
Like where defense is a huge part of, like defense, parrying, and counters are so big in that game, and it was so fun to play. It was so.
Is it similar to Sekiro and like there's almost a rhythm to playing it?
Yes,
that's cool. Because I think that was the thing that really struck me about Sekiro versus all the other From Software like Souls-like games is that it was like a rhythm game more than anything else. If
you attacked all willy-nilly or just tried dodge rolling everywhere, you would get shellacked. You had to not only block, but like time your blocks very carefully to get the most out of them.
Yep. It's odd. Like the From games that I like the most are the ones that like aren't really the most Souls-like. I liked Bloodborne and I liked Sekiro. I didn't beat either of them because I mean they're ridiculously hard. But yeah.
It's a thing to like I've noticed too, where like this group S Game, they have mostly been working on mobile games up to this point. Phantom Blade Zero is their first attempt at a AAA game, and what a time for it because Black Myth Wukong just came out and sold 1 billion units.
Yeah.
Like obviously not 1 billion, but like 12 million in 2 months.
Yeah, it's hugely popular for sure.
I think the Chinese gaming market might be big, y'all.
Yeah. I think there might be a lot of people in China. That's my hot take. But yeah, it's a little challenging still over there because you have to make games that are approved by that board of entertainment there. So you like have to. There's like things you can't put in your game if you want it to be in China, I guess.
Correct.
It's kind of like what the movie industry went through in the last like 15, 20 years, where like you know they had to like kind of water down some of the Marvel movies or whatever so that they would be able to be shown over there. But it appears to be worth it. But like even Nintendo, like they don't have all their games there. Like Mario Kart's there. I think there's like a Mario Party there. Odyssey might be there.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Phantom Blade Zero was like one of those kind of sleeper things that you wouldn't have seen it at a trade show here in America, right? Like this is one of those things that was just kind of over there.
Yeah, this was the first time that they've had a demo, and I'm sure I think they mentioned that they're going to go for early access, but like this was the first chance that anyone has gotten to play like a deep dive into this game.
That's cool.
And that was the same with Metal Gear Solid too. This was the first time I think that we've seen a full length demo of that game.
Yeah, I think we may have seen some gameplay somewhere, but yeah, I think this is the longest amount of gameplay of that game that I've seen since it was announced. And it was like a 30-minute demo, right?
Yep. And that's kind of.
So what do you think? Is it good?
I just got off of Dead Rising remaster or deluxe remaster, and it had very similar vibes to me in the way that like it's beautiful. It's like they've touched it up so much visually.
Yeah.
But other than that, outside of like some quality of life features, it played exactly the same as I remember in I think it was 2004 when that original came out.
That sounds close to it, yeah.
And I kind of like that. I kind of like that it just is Metal Gear Solid 3, but prettier and in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah. Sometimes, you can just leave the gameplay intact and just make it look nicer and it works. Nintendo. Sorry. We'll get to that in my discussion later. Yeah, that's cool though. I like that we posted that to YouTube and Facebook and got a ton of views too, so it was funny because someone commented on the YouTube video that the coverage that we gave this Snake Eater demo, it felt like old school E3, where like it was over the shoulder gameplay and like there was no audio, so we put music under it. Like that was E3 for like 10 years before there was gameplay capture allowed or any of that stuff. Like you would just pull out a camera, shoot over the shoulder, get it up as fast as you could, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. That was
a theme that me and Greg felt a lot as we were going through the entire week of Tokyo Game Show, is that it hit those vibes of back when E3 was good.
Yeah.
Gamescom has somewhat similar vibes, but Gamescom lets you do makes you do all their appointments like in a business area that's like away from the floor.
Yeah.
This is like, they have business days for Tokyo Game Show, but they are straight up out there on the floor, the same as where everybody else is going to be.
Yep.
And that creates a certain vibe that I think was kind of nostalgic when E3 was back firing on all cylinders.
There are like some meeting room booth kind of setups, but yeah, for the most part, it is like TGS is like this merger. It's like what E3 was trying to pivot to being when they opened it up to the public, right? But like TGS and I think Gamescom do it right, where there's business days and there's public days, because like you would have maybe been able to do like 2 appointments if you had to deal with the public days, right?
Right.
Whereas like that day one, I was laughing because you guys are like, it's crowded on day one. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of press in Japan, you guys. Like a lot. And I think Greg was kind of it was like baptism by fire for Greg, because he's like, these people are just pushing me and stuff when they're like, everyone's trying to get photos. And I'm like, Greg, you don't understand. Like everyone who was there is a freelance photographer, and they're trying to get the picture first and fast to Nikkei because they get paid. And it was like, I was like, you have to realize that like Tokyo is one of the largest cities on earth, and the media system there, it's like New York City, right? Like New York City is cutthroat as hell for working in media, and so is Tokyo. But like outside of that convention center, people are way more polite than that day one, trying to get pictures of booths, trying to get pictures of like developers and stuff or games. It's very competitive, and that resembles the first day of E3 to me from back in the day, because it was like that over in LA also. But yeah, like hearing you guys, just the things that you guys got to play, the access that was given to you guys, I think was really cool to see. Yeah, we still have to get some of that Fatal Fury gameplay up. But yeah, there's a ton of videos on our YouTube channel. Both the demos for Monster Hunter that TJ tried out. Dude, that game looks awesome. Like I just,
oh my goodness,
that's game of the year unless something crazy happens next year. Which something crazy is probably going to happen next year, because we're getting a new Nintendo system, and we might get GTA 6. I doubt it, but we might.
My preview for Monster Hunter Wilds went up this morning alongside the demos, the demo videos that have been up for a few days already. Mm-hmm. And just like I have two main weapons in Monster Hunter that I've been using I've been using one of them since before Worlds, and I started using one of them at Worlds, was the Charge Blade, which is the sword and shield that can turn into a giant axe.
Yeah.
And then the Gun Lance. And boy howdy, both of them not only felt like everything that I wanted to be there was there.
Yeah.
But that focus strike system that they showed off, where you target weak points and then do a finisher on them, oh my god, so good.
The more I see the Gun Lance in gameplay of Wilds, I think I might shift to that, because I'm not the hack and slasher I used to be, and like it just seems like it's more strategic to be out there. I used to be the guy with just give me the largest blade possible and I'll go and I'll slash the shit out of the monster's legs. But now I'm like, after watching it, I'm like, things like focus strikes make me want to kind of sit back and be a little more tactical when Wilds comes out. But yeah, like every time
gives you a lot of options too. It's like you can stay defensive and pick your moments to stab and let off like maybe one bullet, or you can just go ham and just fire off every shot you have at once.
That's me. That's why I like it. I'm like, fire all bullets.
And picking your moment to reload is kind of the hardest part of it.
Yes, it is. And that gives me kind of like a Gears vibe to it too, like trying to get I know it doesn't have active reload, but the timing of reload is so important in that. Yeah, the more I watch gameplay of it, I'm like, how am I going to play this game? But it's exciting that we're getting in, like, the Monster Hunter franchise is in the best place it's ever been in, and that's cool. And yeah, but like just TGS in general, Capcom was there in a large way. There's a huge ass Sony booth with Astrobot everywhere, right? Konami was there. Like Sega, they had a pirate ship, Joe. I don't know if you saw, like, Goro Majimo's standing there on a pirate ship, wearing a pirate hat. Like, they had a large presence for Metaphor there as well. They had a giant ass shadow. Was that inflatable or was that like a statue, TJ?
It wasn't inflatable. And in fact, I saw a lot of it like inflatable marketing throughout that hall that I think I've never seen so many inflatables in a convention hall other than TGS.
Yeah, I noticed that this year. I was like, that's not a statue. That's like just a big ass balloon that's shaped like Shadow the Hedgehog. And awesome. So like Sega's booth looked cool as hell. They're giving out free Red Bull. I thought that was neat. Yeah, that looked like, when I looked at that, just like editing your guys' booth footage and stuff, I was just like, that is the most lively video game conference I've seen post-pandemic. Like, it just seemed like, oh wow, events are back. Like, they're legit back now. And I think it's safe to say, like, Tokyo Game Show is now the premier video game convention. Like, it had the most stuff there. And yeah, there were like announcements happening. You had Ken Kutaragi on the stage at the PlayStation booth talking about like the 30th anniversary stuff. Kojima had this like hour-long live stream on Saturday where they showed off also, or I think that might have technically been Sunday in Japan, but yeah, like they showed off a ton of Death Stranding stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just cool. Like, exclusives were back. I'm sure Jeff Keighley must have been steaming that his boy Kojima didn't give him even a nugget of those announcements. Like, he could have given him one of those for the Jeff Fest, or for was it opening night live with Jeff at Gamescom? But no, he saved it. Like, seeing Kojima Productions save all of that for TGS, I was like, that's cool. Yeah, like the talks that we saw come out of TGS, I thought were pretty sweet. But yeah, it looked like it was a really good event. Seems like we got a bunch of good interview content and gameplay content too. So.
On the matter of Kojima and Kutaragi and a lot of the other like big stuff that we saw in there, I think to a certain degree it's home field advantage because like we were discussing this, Xbox had like a big advertisement on the walk-in out there, like for Jones, but that's like the only presence that they have out there. And Dragon Age had a booth, but like no one was lining up to play that.
You know what's funny about the Dragon Age booth? It reminds me that I think it might have been the last time I was at TGS. They had a Cyberpunk 2077 booth. Same thing. Mm-hmm. No one was there. And it was like, if that booth was at E3 or if that booth was at Gamescom, right? Or if it was at TwitchCon, everyone would be at the Cyberpunk booth. But yeah, the Cyberpunk booth, at TGS was completely dead. I thought that was the Dragon
and you're
Age
exactly
one.
right. It's not that people don't like those games. Like that booth would probably be packed at PAX West or
Yeah.
but it's just a matter of like tastes and there. And I think that like if you're Hideo Kojima and you have one of the best game shows on earth on your turf, why on earth would you not save the best stuff for it?
Yeah, you don't even have to stay in a hotel. Like, you just get on a train and you're there. Like, from their office to TGS is like a 30-minute train ride. Like, versus having to fly across the world to do something, or or zoom in with Jeff or whatever. Like, yeah, it was cool because like he brought out all the voice actors from the game. They made like specific in-game clips from Death Stranding 2, but they were made specifically for the TGS audience. So I thought that was kind of neat. Like he like showed us gameplay, but it wasn't really gameplay kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat. The photo mode looks ridiculous in that game.
It was hilarious how much of a feature photo mode got for that presentation.
It was like a good 10 minutes where he demoed photo mode and like showed it off. And I love that when you take a picture in it like in the game, it shows up as like a Polaroid. But yeah, like just cool stuff was happening over there. It feels like it's back. Like TGS felt back this year. And that's why, I was on the fence about sending people there up until about a month ago. And then when I saw that Sony was going to be there, I'm like, this is bigger than most years. And then the news about, I think after we decided you guys were going, the Kojima announcement happened where they're like, yeah, we're doing this thing at TGS. But it ended up being pretty cool. Like, he announced a few, they showed off Elle Fanning's character for the first time. Of course, like, the character's name is stupid because we're talking about Death Stranding. Her name is Tomorrow. And I don't know if people remember the tagline for the original Death Stranding. It was, "Tomorrow is in your hands." So
Okay.
we'll see what that means. Also, he made a music video with the marionettes dancing and singing.
Of course.
It's not even in the game. He just did that. So like he's like, at one point he's like, sorry, I don't really have a release date for this yet because we're still working on it, but here's a music video with the puppet guy. Dollman. I'm sorry, Dollman. His name is Dollman. There's also Tarman and his cat, and just spoiler alert, they're like covered in tar.
Is Death Stranding 2 a Mega Man game?
It might be. I don't know what I'm watching anymore, but like, it looks fine. I'll play it. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll get to that probably in 2026. I think everyone was expecting a release date, so people were disappointed by that. But other than that, I thought it was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
What was like some of the other wacky stuff you saw there? Like, was there any like just weird off the wall thing that you came across?
I was 2 feet away from Kenny Omega at one point.
That's right. And that was at the Fatal Fury demo?
Yep. We had an appointment with Fatal Fury. We played the game. And on my way out, Kenny Omega was coming in to have his own private session. And like, I only barely just recognized him at the last second because he's got that bright blonde hair and like the dark stubble on his beard hair. And I walked down the stairs and I'm just like, holy shit, Greg, that was Kenny Omega. And Greg's like, who's Kenny Omega? He's one of the most popular people in the world, Greg.
Yeah, Greg's like that though. He'll be like, who's that? That's awesome. That's funny as hell. I edited the cosplay video that you guys got us. My favorite clip from that is like, you're clearly just walking and Greg has the camera on. I don't know what he was doing, but like, a Terry Bogard cosplayer walks by you and you're walking the other way. Yeah. It was just like two ships passing in the night. But it's funny because you make eye contact with the camera. It's just really fucking funny. I was cracking up when I saw that. But yeah, like, it was crazy though. That day 3, like you saw it. Is that not the craziest gaming convention you've seen in your life?
We were doing fine because like I'm a big body, so like when me and Greg were together, I'm used to wading through crowds.
Sure.
I act like the cow catcher on a train and just move through. And I have no problem like grabbing someone's hand and just being the guy to be forward and do that. When we got to the merch booths on day 3, which are in their own hall,
Yeah.
the area near Kojima Productions, like in one small space, they had the merch booths for Kojima Productions, Capcom, and Sega. And it was just a sea of people just crammed together like sardines in a can. The closest I've ever felt to that was like I once tried to get front stage at a music festival, and it was that same feeling where I was like being crushed from all sides, just body heat steaming up there, a little bit harder to breathe than usual, and just keep moving by whatever means necessary because people behind you are pushing back trying to do the same thing.
So you know what, Mike? I should have told you guys this before you left. You know what my go-to move in that situation has been in Japan? Because I'm also large body, but I'm also like tall.
Mm-hmm.
I put my arms up in the air and I start waving them around and I make bear noises. And I'm like, roar! And then Japanese people, like, it's like the parting of the seas. So like that's wow. Literally what I would do at TGS on the way to the train or anything. Like if I'm, I don't think you guys went to Tokyo Station during rush hour, hopefully. But you would have seen a similar
over there.
You would have seen a similar size crowd. Yeah, usually when like the last few years that I went to TGS, I didn't stay in Makuhari where you guys were. I would stay in like downtown Tokyo. So like at the end of the day, it's like you saw it, that huge group of people who are just walking to the trains when you guys are walking to your hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You get to Tokyo Station and it's like mid-rush hour and there's just thousands of people everywhere. So yeah, it's just it. I think it was funny seeing you guys run into day 3, and I had to make that meme video out of it because I did warn you guys. I'm like, don't try to get much done on day 3 because it's not easy. But yeah, awesome. I don't know, anything else you want to let the folks know about TGS?
One of the funniest things that happened while I was there was I have this shirt that it's just Kirby doing his inhaling thing.
Sure.
And it says right underneath it, "I'm hungry." And we like after Friday, after Saturday,
yeah.
When we were finally wrapped up with things, we went to a nice sushi restaurant, and it was like the most solemn dinner I think I've ever had, where we actually got to sit down in front of the chefs. They made the meal. It was very quiet. It was very calming. It was very cool. The ladies were dressed very nicely, and everything was super respectful. And then on our way out, one of the ladies looked at my shirt and said, "Kirby." And then she pointed to me and like made a hand motion, like a round motion, and said, "Kirby." I was like, and like I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, yeah, of course, I am that guy.
You're like, yeah, that's me. I'm Kirby. You're like, I did just vacuum up a bunch of shit sushi. Yeah, like the food's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The food's amazing and affordable. And
it was just this really funny contrast because like we were just done with this really nice dinner, really solemn, really quiet. Yeah. And then this lady that's just dressed in probably like a $1,000 kimono saying that to me. It was really funny.
That's funny. Awesome. And you guys did Akihabara and you did the Square Enix Cafe, right? We
sure did.
Cool.
They were really into Live Alive over there because I guess the 30th anniversary of that game just passed.
Yeah. It was a big deal over there when it got released on Switch. That's interesting. It is always fun to see like what games popping off. When I was there, like it was Persona 5 stuff everywhere.
Yeah, so I can see that.
Did you notice there's still Kirby like everywhere?
Yes.
He might be more popular than Mario in Japan. Like he actually might be.
Like based on the reactions I got to my shirt, because that lady wasn't the only one that responded to it. They really like Kirby. I'll have to up my Kirby game before I go back.
Yeah, they really do. There's a Kirby cafe there, but yeah, you have to book it like 3 months in advance. But yeah, I don't know. Exciting times over there. But I'm glad you guys are back in one piece. Even though Greg is deathly ill right now, I'm sure he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Put some dirt on it. I see you put Like a Dragon here, Joe, but I don't think... Did you guys play that, TJ, or was that Ozzy that played that?
Ozzy was the one who played a preview of it, I do believe.
Okay, but it was at TGS.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the same vertical slice that Ozzy played. It was 2 vertical slices. One is the Dragon Kart mode, and the other was just like traditional like beat 'em up stuff, Joe, like the action adventure style.
Sure. With
but
pirate suits.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really fun and stupid, and it's like that's the fun, wacky Yakuza stuff that I like. So
fun and stupid is the perfect narrative to put Goro Majima at the center of.
Yeah, he's a cartoon character, so he should be in a game that's cartoon-like. Yeah, it says, "Wow, Joe, you've been playing video games."
Yeah.
What the hell? Tell us about this. What's going on? Why are you playing the Wii U?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, you skipped the more earnest one, I'd say. I had a Wii U day.
Okay.
I've been playing Octopath Traveler 2 again. Just like I'm in this situation. I think you'll notice that like I'm playing 100-hour long JRPGs in chunks.
Yes.
So I'm in my, I don't know, 3rd chunk of Octopath now.
It's just like when you get sick of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you go elsewhere.
I actually hit a difficulty spike in Rebirth. In my completionist push, I hit a little wall. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna have to actually work on this to get past here. One of the side quests.
Interesting.
Do you have favorite characters in Octopath 2?
I always, and by always I mean now twice, in both the first one and the second one, I like the Dancer class the best. Because of the Bewildering Grace ability. And I'm realizing from Octopath that I may have a gambling issue. I've never gambled in real life. But when you roll that dice, the Bewildering Grace ability, which I guess I should explain because I assume no one, including you guys, knows what that means. There's an ability that is essentially a slot machine. And you can power it up like you can power up any ability in Octopath with 4 boosts or none, or 1, I guess. And each boost gives you another pull. So what I try to do in your average battle is get 4 boosts going on that ability because you have X chance, and it's low, like 2%, maybe 5%, to get a multiple of 10,000 experience.
Whoa.
Or a multiple of 10,000 money, or a multiple of 10,000 job points. And that's a sliding scale too. Like you can get 100 times or 1 or 2 times or whatever. But man, I find that so addictive, and that's like why I like the game.
Dude, that's the Wheel of Fortune card in Balatro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got to give it
work for me.
It's worked 1 time for me. I've probably done it like 30 times in my playthroughs, TJ. 1 time I've had it work, and it's glorious when it does. I feel what you're talking about, Joe. Like that the element of chance and like the dice roll kind of feel. Like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and what I think what I like about the game design of it is that it is a risk reward because you can also like take damage.
Yep.
Like there's results that hurt you.
Yeah, in the case of the Wheel of Fortune card, it's just a waste of an arcane pack if you don't get it.
There you go.
But it's not as, I would say, it's not as punishing as what the that dance move is.
Yeah, because
Octopath's
you can
awesome,
get things like it might buff your attack, or it might buff your defense, or it might, like Joe said, give you insane experience, or it might do a certain elemental damage. There's like a ton of different outcomes that can happen. But it could also like debuff your whole party, or take out all of your MP, or reduce your team to 1 hit point. It's ridiculous.
Right. In the first game in 2018, I got 10,000 XP multiplier and a 5,000 XP or job point multiplier twice. And so that experience lives in my head rent free. And I think every time I pull the trigger on Octopath 2, I'm like, it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm 40 hours deep. It's coming. And that was the thing that made me able to play the late game. Like there's some pragmaticism to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get stacked so I can keep playing. Anyway,
that makes sense.
Anyway, that's Octopath 2, Traveler 2. I plugged in the Wii U, Asif.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, I played Mario Kart 8 Standard.
Not the deluxe version.
Right.
He's playing
Super Mario
the one that
3D World.
The one that only sold like 10 million units, not the one that sold 61 million.
Yeah. Which I had digitally. I bought Mario Kart 8 standard digitally, which is not my
Very
style.
weird for you. Yeah, that's not you don't normally
But
do
it was already installed. I plugged it in. It was installed. Anyway, I did this because my kids are getting into games, which I've talked about a little bit. I'm like, you guys can have the Wii U. Not because I don't like it, but it's just sitting there. And all the games you want to play are also on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So it's in the playroom. And guess what?
What?
They weren't stoked because, for example, Mario Kart 8 does not have the accessibility features.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. That's a no-go.
Yeah. But I'm gonna persist because if they can play the non-accessible version, they'll actually get good, and maybe they'll actually get into Mario Kart instead of.
So they also played some other Mario games on here.
Yeah. I think 3D World is not a game that I like, and they also did not like it.
Wow.
Mario Bros. U is a game that I super like that everyone likes to shit on. And they liked it too. So I don't know. Maybe it's like a DNA thing.
I like Mario Bros. U. I think it was just people were tired of the new Super Mario Bros. Equation by that point.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's like the last one, and then they brought DX over, but it's like it wasn't new anymore, right? It was like, okay, this is. I love, I'll tell you in Super Mario Maker, that is my favorite game style to make a level in.
How come?
The twirl jump, the wall jump.
Yep.
Stuff like that. I think there's the gameplay options in that game style I think are just great. It's between that and Super Mario World. Now what I find crazy is, did they see Cat Mario?
They saw Cat Mario. And they felt the way I feel about 3D World.
Huh.
I don't like controlling the character isometric. I don't like this isometric view
camera.
for a platformer. They had a really hard time with it. Okay. And like naturally, they're 3 years old and 5 years old. But I also have trouble with it.
Yeah, it is a weird merger because it's a reimagining of Mario World in 3D, and some of those things are you're right. The camera in that is not great.
I find it difficult to like land on a Goomba's head. Like simple stuff, just keep missing them.
Did you play Bowser's Fury?
I did. They watched all of that. And they got a little scared. Yeah, they got a little scared though.
Oh yeah, I mean it's when Bowser shows up and the heavy metal hits. Yeah, it's a little scary.
Right.
But like I think that's an example of what you're talking about though. That's the same engine essentially as 3D World, but it's open world.
Right.
And the camera can be swung around and stuff.
Yeah. Like I much preferred playing Bowser's Fury to the
Odyssey.
The 3D World love affair always strike I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts, and it's just very frequently referenced as like the best one. Like sort of like that. Like, oh, we all love 3D World. I'm like, really? That was, I think, my least favorite. I prefer Sunshine, which is also Milan too.
Sunshine's my favorite.
Wow. See, that's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I know people think I'm weird, but like I've expressed my love of jetpacks ad nauseum.
Yeah, you have.
And they gave Mario a fucking jetpack, you guys. And it's great. And like the flood mechanic, like being able to shoot water on the ground and then slide on that water, like the physics that they introduced with Sunshine were really impressive. And I would still say that the secret levels in Sunshine are some of the best 3D platforming they've ever shipped. And I would say that it's only been Odyssey where I'm like, okay, that's better. But like Odyssey is, like, I get why people would say Odyssey is the best. I just think there's too much shit to do in it. I'm like, I don't want, never, ever, ever put another Mario mustache puzzle in a Mario game. If they ever, please, just no more. I don't want those stupid puzzles. Where does Mario's mustache go? Who cares?
Yeah, the non-platforming parts of Odyssey, you could strip that out. You'd strip 12 hours out of the game. I think
200 of those shines would be gone, and it's or whatever they're called, moons. Like it would be fine if the I could do without those. But then like the actual that like last level before the moon or whatever, or maybe it's on the moon. The way that they interweave 3D platforming with the 2D stuff, like I love all of that in Odyssey.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So yeah, but like they do have moments where you can't move the camera around in Odyssey. as much.
You're right, and I would say that, to clarify, it's not the lack of control of the camera; it's that particular zoomed out, sort of like Diablo camera that they're using.
It's kind of like the right. 3D Mario 3D Land camera too. I don't know if you played that on.
I didn't,
3DS.
and I didn't grab it because it looked like the same kind of thing.
It was very similar.
Yeah,
that's interesting. No, I think that's a very fair criticism for 3D World. I didn't mind it, but yeah, I get it. I think that like some of the level design in 3D World is just outstanding. Like you're just like, God, that flows so well.
I felt that way toward the end, but it took a long time. For me, it was like a lot of boring sludge until it picked up. But
interesting. Do you have Nintendo Land?
Nintendo Land? No, I don't think I have that.
That's a good game for kids.
I have played it, and you're right. I should get that. They have, like all kids, like attention issues. So it's like anything that's like change, like pivoting every few minutes, which if I recall, Nintendo Land offered like a lot of different experiences.
Yeah, there's like a Metroid game. There's an F-Zero game in it, which is hilarious. But I really liked the Metroid game. I think there's a balloon fight. You know what's funny? Like, I have completely fallen off of Nintendo World Championship. Like, I was playing that all the time. And then all these games came out, and I dropped it. It's so weird, because I actually love that game. And it's
a busy time of year.
It really is.
It's a pretty easy game to dip your toes back into when you feel like it too, I feel.
For sure.
Just because everything is so bite-sized in that game that you can play like a couple, like pull Skittles out of the bowl before you go.
Mm-hmm. But that was another one to the ADD point, or like the, just short attention span point, Joe. Like, it's perfect, because you can just like play 2D Mario, and then you switch to 2D Zelda, then you switch to Kid Icarus.
Now, the problem would be that those are going to be so challenging. Yeah.
They're all hard. Although the early challenges aren't. It's just get the mushroom, Like, some of them aren't. I'd say like the first 3 challenges your kids could beat. And then it's like, the nice part is that you can just do it faster, right? Instead of trying to do the harder levels. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But
you know what? I'm not giving them the Switch back. They got the Wii U. We're good. So
they get the Switch in like 2 years when you're done and you have your Switch 2. They don't play like games on Steam Deck, right?
No, they haven't. I don't allow that. Is NES Remix a Wii U game, or is that 3D?
Yes, that's a Wii U game.
Wii U? Okay.
Yeah, NES Remix is, that'd be good. WarioWare, those are good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I'll do a little
Mario
eBay
Maker.
huntings.
Do you have Mario Maker 1?
I did. I might have sold it. I might have sold it when I bought 2. That might be what happened.
The problem is the servers are down now, so you can't even play the levels. Oh well.
My daughter would get into that anyway.
Yeah. I
will see if I can get them hooked on this machine so that when the Switch 2 comes out, it's a major leap, and their minds are blown. Yeah. So what have you been playing?
Balatro came out on mobile last week, and it's got its hooks in me.
Yeah. You're back.
Like, it is. Oh, I'm back, but in a new way, right? Because I've won the game on Switch several times. I have not won it on mobile yet. So that's like my new wet whale. I want to win the game on mobile. Sure. It's just so good. It's so fucking good. It's still my game of the year. Right now, like, it's my game of the year. I think it's the best gameplay loop to ship this year. I think it's it's just, the menus are perfect. The only negative I have to say about the port or whatever is that it's horizontal. There's no way they could have ported it to be a vertical, like, portrait phone game. So that, like, it makes it hard to play it one-handed. So that's one negative.
Right.
And then the other negative is that on a 16, I have a 14 Pro, right? The smaller of the iPhone screens, the text can appear pretty small. Those are like the only 2 negatives I have. Outside of that, it runs excellently. And do you remember Apple Game Center?
Sure.
Yeah.
It exists. They still have Game Center. I had no idea Game Center was still a thing. They use Game Center to allow players to pick up where they left off flawlessly. That was hugely important to me. If they got that wrong, I would have been really upset with this game.
How does Game Center come into play with that? What does that have to do with Game Center?
they're basically saving your state so that like if you close the app and you come back, it logs you in and then it knows where you were.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a hack or if that's like just part of the kit.
I think it's something that they did specifically for mobile because you did not need to be online on the Switch version or the Steam version for that to work. Maybe
Sure.
Steam with the Steam cloud saves, but at least on Switch, I don't need to have the internet to be able to pick up where I left off. I think it's more of how apps cache things in how iOS caches things most likely. Like if you close an app for a while, and this is true of most mobile games that I play, it forgets where you are. The ones that don't for me are like Retro Bowl and now this. But I think that's one of those things where like a mobile game, I need to be able to play it and then put it down when I need to put it down kind of thing. And this game lets me do that flawlessly. So if I'm like, I don't know, stuck waiting in line somewhere, I could actually play a round or two of Balatro. Or like you're in a waiting room. I don't know, TJ, did you play it on the plane or anything?
I was about to get into that conversation. Balatro Mobile was absolutely clutch on that 13-hour flight.
Yeah. It's a time vortex when you play that game. And I said it on last episode. I was like, let me have a football Sunday with this before I really issue my opinion. Well, I had a football Sunday with it and it was awesome. Like
Nice.
it's great. It's something I'll like throw on a podcast, like on the TV or whatever, and then I'll just be playing Balatro on my phone. Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
It falls into a very rare category of games, which currently I put Vampire Survivors in as well, where it's just like, I need to fast forward my life. So I'm going to turn this on, and by the time I'm done with it, I know that 3 hours will have passed without me even realizing it.
Yep. So yeah,
Wow.
I it's great. It's my game of the year still. I'm planting my flag and saying that's game of the year. Astrobot's lovely. And I really, 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 really like the Zelda game that came out this year. But no, Balatro is the best game to come out this year. I think it's cool too because it's a very small team that made it, right? Like, I love stories like that. The video game industry is built on games like this. And I was also like a big solitaire fan. Like, obviously, I played like Pocket Card Jockey earlier this year, and
Right.
I like card games. And I like poker, even though this is not a poker game. Yeah. Oh shit. We have a special a special appearance here.
Wow.
I was just trying to sneak in and just sit at the table, and I've
Hear
been
me
here
talk
the whole
about-
time.
To hear about how great Balatro is.
Balatro is, you know what? I'm so happy it's on Apple Arcade as well. That's kind of that's a get.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations, Tim Cook. But no,
man.
it's,
More people get to play like this pretty awesome game, right?
Oh no, dude, I'm loving it on mobile. It's perfect. I do think there's like a couple of things where I'm like, yeah, this is a port, but yeah, I love it. I'm gonna be playing it for like TJ was saying, it's like Vampire Survivors. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like Vampire Survivors. It's gonna be, but it's also like, to me, it's like this. It's like a new era of solitaire almost. But yeah, like I love the game. It's great. And now I'm obsessed with unlocking the Jokers again. You know, like all those things that I've already done on the Switch version. It's not unlike when Vampire Survivors came out on Switch. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to unlock all the Vampire Survivor stuff again. And then they're like, by the way, here's Contra Asif. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I think the comparison to Vampire Survivors is apt, TJ, because like they're both indie games, but like they're going to show the Vampire Survivors showed up on my game of the year list the year it came out, and Balatro's still, I'm putting it game of the year right now. Like Astrobot's nice, Zelda's great.
And you
Balatros
touched on
better.
it with the unlocks, but like that's a huge part of what makes it so fun, because whether you win or lose a run, you get like 3 things that pop out. It's like, you unlocked this Joker, and you unlocked this voucher, and you unlocked this deck. It's like, well, geez, I got to see how all the rest of this works. Let's start a new run.
It was ante 7 out of 8, and I got to the boss battle or whatever, the 3rd round. I lost by 60 points. I needed to put up 40,000 points in one hand, and I did like 39,900 40. It was devastating. But yeah, I also like, I love the math of it. Like, I sent this meme around, where it was like, it's like the Tony Stark, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of parts or whatever. It's that meme, but it's like Local Funk built Balatro with just a box full of if-then statements. And I'm like, that's so true. It's math. That game is math. It's not that different than the game we made this year, Bubbletron, where it's just kind of math.
It's funny you say that, because this game made me feel like, wow, I could be a game dev. I just haven't had a great game idea yet. Like, this is so buildable. Yeah. Not to take anything away. I don't mean that.
No, that's what's genius about it, is that it is minimal in nature, but it's fun and it's unique. Like it's a cool set of systems that interact with each other flawlessly. Like the spectral decks, the arcane decks, the celestial decks, the Joker decks, the Joker cards, right? Like the whole store mechanic, the ability to unlock different things in the store, or like, it's all those systems and how they interact with each other like flawlessly. That's why I love the game so much. And that's why like I will put it above some AAA games that came out this year. Cause it's like, yeah, you can have all the bells and whistles and all the sprinkles you want on an ice cream level in Astrobot. I'm still having more fun playing Balatro. And it's not for everyone. From what I can tell, like some people who aren't really card game players may not like it as much. But yeah, it's my shit. I'm all about it. Now being able to play it on mobile is ridiculous. But yeah, I also played some Switch games this last week.
Okay.
The highest praise I can give a game is that I'm still playing it after I reviewed it, and I am still playing Echoes of Wisdom because there's just stuff to do. There's fun things happening in the community. They're just like, hey, here's this, figured out this hack that uses the flying tiles, or I taught myself how to make beds fly. You can literally make beds fly in the game, and if you do it right, you can keep a bed in the air for a very long time. So I think it's hilarious seeing these like hacks that are appearing, these glitch strats that are appearing. So when I see that stuff, I'm out there making vertical videos about it. So we have something, I think it's like, I made a vertical video about the bed glitch, and it's got like over 35,000 views on TikTok in like a day. So yeah, people are, it's just interesting what's going on in that game. Not everyone likes it. Some people are complaining about performance or whatever, but like the Zelda community and the speedrun community is eating that shit up right now. And it's just making for great content just to watch on the internet and talk to people about. It's great. So yeah, I'm still playing that. I think
Nice.
That's a game I will 100%.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, but it's just fun. So like, which brings me to the last game I'll talk about. I've been playing F-Zero 99. I know. It's shocking.
Hey, crowd goes wild.
Yep. So
you didn't play it. You took a break from it last week, as I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You didn't play it. Yeah. So but they had some updates. So
come on, some updates. Let's talk about this. Satellaview, John. They bring in Satellaview tracks. Do people even know what Satellaview is?
why
It's
do you
like-
educate the people? I know, obviously.
But like,
But
it's
what
insane.
about Joe? TJ knows. But
This idea. It was like, talk about ahead of its time though, man. Like like an attachment for the Super Nintendo, right? Like that uses like an online, it was a satellite modem that had 512 kilobytes, 512 kilobytes. of
Megs
RAM.
would be. Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
Megs would have been insane.
That would have been crazy. That's supercomputer talk.
But look, we're talking about an online peripheral for a 16-bit console that was only in Japan, right?
Of course.
So, like,
this was one of the examples of how Japan was just so much more advanced.
Yes.
And this, Nintendo did a lot of stuff that was really interesting. This was one of them.
And it was like, talk about ahead of its time. Downloadable content over the internet? Like, what? And I remember reading about these tracks, man. These Satellaview Ace League tracks. And just being like, wow, there's a Mute City 4? Can you imagine? Like, this is like this update made me feel like a kid more than anything F-Zero 99 has done. And the F-Zero Twitter community lost their shit this week because we're like, there's no fucking way. Like, because we've been kicking around ideas just, in Discords or whatever, like, what could be the next update? And there was like this group of people who, ever since the game came out, they're like, give us the Satellaview tracks. And I don't think it's coincidence that this update dropped the same day that the Nintendo Museum opened, because the Nintendo Museum has an exhibit for the Satellaview games. And I think this was like kind of a tie-in with that. This is crazy. This is like one of the craziest things. By the way, these tracks are awesome. Mute City 4 is cool. It's like, what if we added sweet jumps everywhere? What if we put boost power everywhere? That's what these tracks are like. And I love sweet jumps and I love boost power. And then they also, like, this was a 1.5.0 patch. They buffed the Fire Stingray.
Ooh.
Like, they actually buffed my vehicle specifically. So I was like, thank you guys. And just shout out to Nintendo for not pushing this update until after I reviewed Zelda. That's a huge, I approve of that. But I do want to point out, I celebrated the anniversary of F-Zero 99 on the day that it released. They waited 3 weeks. So was it really me? Like, was Doug Bowser watching me on stream and was like, hey, we should probably do something about this F-Zero anniversary? Like, it's just, how many times do they have to copy off my paper?
It's true.
But also, thank you for giving us this to Satellaview, the Ace League. This idea, like, dude, it had been this mythical thing in my head since I was like 12, that this or 13, that this thing existed, that there were these 5 really hard, different F-Zero tracks out there. But that's not all. They gave us F-Zero Climax and F-Zero GP Legend on Switch Online later this month. So, like, Nintendo with the 1-2 punch of F-Zero news on like a Tuesday night at midnight? So random, but awesome.
All right, I got something for you.
Sure.
Do you remember, I think it's Fast RMX?
Yes.
That was a launch game for Switch.
For Wii U. Or no, yeah, it was on Switch, yeah.
Yeah, it was Switch. I only know that because I bought it, and I would never otherwise buy a game like that.
Sure.
And I played with Asif. I played with John and Buffa in the office, and we were doing like the local wireless. Remember that, John?
I kind of do, yeah. I do remember. That was like
the game was. Yeah, the game was forgettable, but
yeah.
But
I do remember that time. I mean, there wasn't.
It had a weird mechanic where there's like different color tracks, and you would have to switch your color. Yep. Yeah.
Forgettable enough that was probably the first and last time we played that game.
Something.
I think that was like a normal. That didn't make it into the regular routine.
No. It wasn't. Honestly, it just wasn't fun enough to make it into the routine. And I think Kart came out a few months later.
So the reason I bring it up is every console launch likes to have a game like that because the frame rates are blistering.
Yeah.
And it fills like a cavity in the launch window. It's like,
you're saying that we're getting a new F-Zero launch title.
Yeah. Of course I am. Yeah.
I agree. What else? Dude, they brought F-Zero Climax to America? Like,
you're thinking, you say that because this is like the ramp up to like get F-Zero back in the zeitgeist a little bit in the Nintendo zeitgeist. Huh.
At the very least, Nintendo cares about this franchise.
Yeah. And you couldn't, I mean, obviously you were the one saying they really didn't care about this franchise 2 years ago, let's say.
Well, like, look at it back in the Wii U era. Like, in the Wii U era, we were a sideshow in Nintendo land. And the Smash era, we were just fucking cool levels, and we were eating ramen with the girl from ARMS and Kirby. Like, we've been a joke. We've been a throwaway. Like, remember?
I like that it's Wii, by the way. I love that, you're like
the Royal Wii, the F-Zero community. Yes,
F-Zero Wii. Yeah, it's good.
I'm the mayor of F-Zero. I'll speak for us. But like, Kazuha threw us into the volcano in the trailer. You know what I mean? Like, we've been the butt of so many jokes for years. And then like we got that little nugget in the Mario movie where there's a poster of Captain Falcon, and then F-Zero 99 comes out. And Nintendo in October of last year said King and Queen League will be the last updates for this game. They said that a month after launch, and then they have proceeded to give us 5 more material track updates.
Now, why do
So,
you think that is? Do you think like just the clamor? Did the fan base like has it grown beyond what they were expecting, or was this all planned?
It has to have. It has to be bigger than they expected because they were like, let's try this thing out. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, we can just shut it down. And now they're like, oh my God, we've made a battle royale game that people like. Oh shit.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, we've never done a live service game before. Whoops. We actually succeeded. It was like, they took a shot. Like the people who pitched this game, I just want to talk to you. But like, yeah, they pitched this game. It got approved. I'm sure there was skepticism at the top of Nintendo, but like, Shintaro Furukawa's the executive producer. Miyamoto's the supervisor on this game. Like, you go down, you look at who's on this game's credits, it's everyone at Nintendo. And like, there's a group of people at Nintendo who have love for this game. That's my takeaway, is that like, Miyamoto, he used to talk shit about it and say, I don't know what we could do that's new. This motherfucker, this is what you could do. And like, they hit a home run. It's like, I think they didn't even realize that this had a chance at that, because F-Zero had become such a meme. Oh, there's only 1,000 fans or a dozen fans out there in the world. No, like, all this has done is like, we were a very small group of fans that were clamoring for a new F-Zero game, and then we got one, and we all won't shut the fuck up about it. So new people are coming into the scene. Young people are playing the game who never knew F-Zero even existed. Yeah, so I think they've actually built a community by accident. It wasn't intentional. And like, I think their attitude shifted. Like, I don't know when it happened, but like, probably sometime around when they got the 10 out of 10 from Shacknews, they were like, you know what? He's right. This game is awesome. So once again, Doug Bowser, thanks for listening to the podcast. Congratulations on shipping Satellaview tracks. Deep cut, man.
Do you think we're going to get 64DD tracks soon?
Just give me.
Did they have the F-Zero? They had the F-Zero a track editor. Wasn't that a 64DD thing? Like, that's not something that it's come out with.
But like, we don't even have F-Zero X tracks in this game.
No, I know. I know it's completely different. I'm just, for Nintendo Switch Online, you think like Satellaview.
Oh, you're saying that
Satellaview kind of, like it's setting a precedent for like, I think it's setting a precedent. I don't remember. I know that they did like Star Fox 2, and they've done like Sin and Punishment, things like that, that were Japan only. But this is like a whole new system.
You're saying like, that they could like go, okay, so if you're an expansion pack member, boom, here's the 64DD.
Here's 64DD. Let's like, here's Mario Artist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Wasn't there like a news story about Mario Paint or mouse pad support or something? Or maybe I'm making that up.
There was they were adding some sort of weird, someone found it in like a data mine that there's like keyboard and mouse support for the Switch somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, like, everybody was talking about how that's like tied to Mario Paint on Super Nintendo. And I don't know, maybe it's actually something bigger than just that. Maybe a Mario Artist, which was, I think it was 4 discs that were Japan only.
Dude, I would lose my shit. Yeah. I have those.
How cool is that? I have those too. I have the stupid 64DD.
I have it in a box upstairs. Like, I haven't unboxed it. It's just sitting there. And I walk by it and I nod approvingly at it. And I have the F-Zero X expansion pack. My only complaint about when they bring some of that Japanese stuff over to Switch Online is they never localize it. It's just,
they never do. Yeah.
It's just, here's what already existed, which is fine. We can translate stuff now with our phones, but it's just like, man, if they give it a little bit more TLC, that would be cool. But for me, it's like the last thing I want 2 more things, Doug Bowser, because obviously you're working on this project, even though you're not credited in the credits.
Listen up, buddy.
I want to be able to play team battles, but queue up with my friends. Like, being able to like get in a Discord and be like, okay, we're all going to play team battle together. Like, being able to queue up in a team battle with your friends. That would be key. And I want a proper F-Zero X style death race that doesn't have a lap limit or a time limit. It's just last vehicle standing.
That'd be fun.
And that's possible. That you could do that with the current game that they have. Maybe not in the F-Zero X level, because that, to your point, like F-Zero X levels are 3D. And, you could argue that F-Zero 99 levels are also 3D, but they're built off of that
mechanic, different
engine. They're built off of that Mode 7 style. So it's like, I guess my takeaway is like, God damn it, make a new F-Zero game now. Because like, you've proven that we love this thing. You're celebrating the franchise in this game. I just think it's funny that I celebrated the anniversary of the game before Nintendo did. Like, that's hilarious to me. But this 1.5.0 update is awesome. If you have Switch Online, you can play it as part of that subscription. It's really good. So yeah,
Did we all get charged yesterday for Switch Online?
Yes.
The entire world?
Yeah, Switch Online renewal day. They at least warn you. They give you like a week or two heads up.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, hey, you know.
I don't know why I'm on a month to month now. I used to do the annual, and then I went month to month. I don't know what changed. It's just a dumb.
I've been doing the annual for a few years now, and when the month, I always forget about it because a year passes, and then that month comes around, and it's like jump scare in my emails. Your annual date is coming.
Yeah, no, it's not that much though. It's like $20 or something. I guess
the annual's only $20.
Yeah, mine was $20. Yeah,
the base.
I do
Switch
the family.
Online.
Yeah, because
base Switch Online is $20, and I think it's $60 for the expansion pack or something, or maybe $40.
Oh, I do I do the whole thing.
I do the expansion pack too because I wanted to play the N64 games, and they did bring F-Zero X over. So now when we look at what's missing on the Switch from this series, it's just GX. It's GX and AX, and then to your point, the DD, like 64 DD track maker.
That's just not gonna. That's crazy. But it's like such a cool.
Satellaview wasn't gonna happen either, though, man. Like none of I've asked for a lot of things in this game. Never did I think that they would do this, but it's cool. And it's like they created an anniversary event that's going to be going on for the next 20 days, where you can unlock skins so your vehicle looks like the Satellaview vehicle. So it's like, it's cool. Like, I'm on the track with these new looking vehicles. I'm like, God, they could do this with F-Zero X. If they did an F-Zero X update, I'd lose my shit. Because that's my favorite F-Zero game before this game came out. And if you add my favorite F-Zero game, my old favorite F-Zero to my new favorite F-Zero, I don't know what would happen to me. But yes, they're making a new F-Zero game, obviously. Why would they not? Yeah. Like, this has been like a crazy celebration of the franchise. And it worked. And I think it's proof that this is the franchise that they can experiment with, not Mario Kart. Keep Mario Kart, but experiment with F-Zero 99, and then maybe bring some of these things, because, a Battle Royale kart would be fun. It might be crazy, but it could be fun. So maybe they'll have some learnings from this. And then, during my stream, I shouted out the 4 developers who work on network infrastructure at Nintendo. They're those 4 legends. Put them on whatever the next card is. Put them on whatever the next Splatoon is. Any online games going forward, because I maintain this. This is the best online game Nintendo has ever made, ever, and that's just crazy. But what the fuck? Over a year into this, we had this many updates. It's awesome. Just ridiculous. And and F-Zero Dev retweeted us when we wrote about the news. How about that?
Nice.
So that's what I've been playing, and that's kind of part of story time. I bled into the what I've been playing part.
The only shame is that you're not going to read the heading I gave your section. So stingies. They're stingies like the stingray. Yeah. I like it. Short story time stingies. Trademark. And trademark. A fucking fire stingray buff on top of all this other stuff. I was like, God, it's not even my birthday, Nintendo. Kind of feels like it though. Well, you know what else? You know what else feels like your birthday?
What?
Playing a freaking game with your crew.
That's true. John, are you okay skipping what you played this week? Do you have anything?
He's muted.
I was muted. Dang it. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Look, hey, Sifu is on Game Pass. Go get it. It's good. All right. That's it. But Zelda's awesome, and we could go. All right.
Cool. Yep. I am down to play a game, Joe. I'm guessing you have something prepared for us.
I do. Let's take a quick break and dive into it. Guys, welcome to Whence I Hail. So if you're a longtime listener, or really if you've been here in the past 7 days, you might recall that last episode 33, I threw y'all a curveball, and there was quite a few stumps, I'd say, as compared to most games that we play.
Sure.
So I went back to the drawing board and I said, how can I keep the competitive spirit alive but not make it quite so brutal? So I'm turning the tables today.
Uh-huh.
We are still dealing with characters, Perhaps main characters, you might say.
Okay.
I am going to give you a character name, and you're going to tell me the game from which they hail. From whence they hail, you might say.
All right.
I wasn't sure if we had to like name the city that they're from. Okay, that's just the game that they're from. Okay, that's good.
Yes. That's actually next week.
Okay. By way of Midgar.
So, TJ, I'll give you a quick refresher here since John and Asif were on the last episode. I will read a character's name. You will buzz in with your name. Asif, take it away.
So, TJ, you say TJ. John, you say John. And I'll say Asif to buzz in.
And your answer must be either the game from which they hail. I'm sorry, the game from whence they hail, or the series from whence they hail. I will accept either answer.
Okay.
Because, sometimes these characters are from more than one game.
And now 15 Guilty Gear characters.
No.
Gonna mop the floor with us.
Is this going to be a thing where everybody's going to band together to defeat me again?
No, hopefully not. I've been playing pretty well lately. I haven't had to do any alliances.
I've been listening. It sounds like
I've had some W's.
There've been some good games too.
I beat David barely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Round 1. Remember, buzz in with your name.
Yep.
Luigi Mario.
TJ.
Awesome.
TJ.
The Super Mario Brothers.
1 point to TJ.
Come on. Luigi
I thought this was where they were. They came from, not like from a location. I thought Brooklyn, New York. Dang it.
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
I told you that's next week. That's the next game.
That's next week. I thought
that's next.
Joe,
next week we're going to play From Where I Hail.
From Where I Hail.
Whence.
Okay. I'm sorry.
This is Whence.
Come on, John. This is Whence.
I can't believe you got the Luigi. You got Luigi wrong? Come on.
I mean, no. Well, TJ was very good on the buzzer.
He was quick.
He was right there.
Yeah, he was quick.
Yeah.
TJ's an excellent
really the
contestant.
hero of the Mario movie, if we're being honest.
Sure.
Just throwing it out there.
For sure.
Here we go.
Okay.
Lara Croft.
Awesome.
Asif.
The Tomb Raider franchise.
Point to Asif. Arthur Morgan.
Awesome.
John.
Asif.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Correct. Nathan Drake.
John.
Awesome.
TJ.
Oh, wait. Okay, go ahead.
The Uncharted series.
I think it may sound different to y'all, but I'm getting, after all the delays and latency, I'm hearing TJ first. That's what's happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or TJ's first. I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
No. It's all good. I'm not.
I did buzz in before you even finished the question.
Me too. I was. Yeah. I'm like
too.
right there. He said Nathan, and
I was in
John.
Yeah.
My stupid internet. Okay, go ahead.
Y'all, check your routers. What do you want me to say? Here we go. Samus Aran.
Awesome.
John.
Asif.
Oh, my
Metroid
God.
franchise. You're on your phone.
Yeah, John's exacerbating it by being on AirPods.
You're on your phone.
Oh, wait
right?
a second. Okay, that's it.
Extra
Oh, God.
latency.
I should have had all this goddamn stuff. All right. Hold on. Take it. Get off these AirPods, son of a.
Milliseconds matter in this game, man.
Everybody off the router. I'm barking at everybody. Okay.
Turn off the Netflix.
Disconnect TV. Okay.
Here we go. Solid
John.
Snake. John.
I'm see at the first syllable. Friggin', what is it? Metal Gear Solid 2. Oh, shit.
Sure. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Metal Gear series.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got it.
Yeah, he's in 2 as well.
My lord.
Imagine. Cloud Strife. Asif.
Final Fantasy 7.
This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. Hold on. Goddamn settings.
You gotta move off Wi-Fi and get hardwired.
That's right.
I guess so, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
You got to get one of those hardwired iPhones.
I'm also leaning into my microphone too.
I'm on. Okay, hold on. Fucking.
If I'm physically closer to the mic, maybe he'll hear me faster.
Right, I'm going speaker. Speaker, baby.
Here we go. Gordon Freeman. TJ.
What? Half-Life series.
That's right.
What?
I heard it. TJ had it early.
Where the hell? Hold on. I'm next to my router. Give me this router.
Showing his phone into the router.
Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Ezio
TJ.
Auditore. TJ.
What?
Assassin's Creed series.
No, this is ridiculous.
I had that.
This is ridiculous. This is insane.
Joel Miller.
TJ.
John.
TJ. TJ by a mile. TJ by a mile.
Yeah, TJ had that.
This is so delayed.
That's The Last of Us, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
that is half a point. That's half a point. The Last of Us, right? You know what? No, wrong.
It's right. It's right.
I couldn't remember his last name. That's the part that threw me
Yeah,
off.
same.
I've
I was
never
like,
heard
Joel
Joel's
Miller.
last
I'm like,
name.
I was like, is that the Days Gone guy?
Okay, hold on.
Close.
I'm getting off Wi-Fi now. Hold on. I'm leaning out the window.
Okay.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard Joel's last name.
Same. I was like, huh? Okay.
Okay,
I've mentioned
I'm ready.
Joel's last name on other podcast episodes, but
Sure,
maybe not in a long
like-
time.
I don't know. It might as
I'm
well
ready.
be the guy from Days Gone.
Here we go. Miles Prower.
John.
Sonic
the Hedgehog.
Correct.
Come on.
Ryu Hoshi.
John.
TJ.
John. 3, 2.
I'm going to say Street Fighter series.
Correct. Well
What?
done.
Yeah. You got
Hey,
it.
you got it. Are you
Right.
here? You got it right.
Yeah, see, I'm like dealing with the
Yelling at-
settings. I have 4 computers, 3 phones. I think that's the problem. All these devices just competing.
You're like that. You're like a Pokemon Go player with like the 5 different setups.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Jill Valentine.
DJ.
Awesome.
John. Oh,
TJ.
What? Come on.
Resident Evil series.
I was late
Yes.
on that.
I was
the
there.
One. That's the one late one. Everyone else.
Asif was close. I heard TJ first. Here we go.
Yeah.
Dante Sparta.
John.
TJ.
John.
Is that God of War series?
Awesome.
Incorrect. Asif.
Oh.
Devil May Cry.
Correct.
Oh,
Series.
very good.
I was like, I knew it. I just didn't get in there fast enough.
Here we go. Sam Fisher.
Awesome.
John.
Asif.
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon series.
Incorrect.
TJ.
John.
Oh,
TJ.
Wait, did
Wait,
you say?
what?
Okay, yeah. It's
Wait, who's go?
TJ.
Okay.
Oh no, I know. God
Oh,
damn it.
3,
Oh no. I
2.
completely
one.
blanked because of all the conversations that came out.
All right.
Oh no.
So- all right,
Can I
John.
guess
John,
again?
it's you, or then everyone gets the floor again.
Is that Alan Wake?
Incorrect.
Awesome.
Asif.
Splinter Cell.
That's
correct.
what it is. I couldn't
Sam
figure it out.
Fisher.
Oh,
Oh no, I got
dropped the ball so bad.
I got TJ'd. No,
I had it in my mouth, and then we had like some chat.
He's right.
When
He's
Ghost
like-
Recon came out of my brain, I was like, oh no, what have I done? It was Splinter Cell.
It worked out for you. Here we
I
go.
did, barely.
I got confused with it. Stupid. Okay, we forget it.
Next. Cirilla, Fiona, Ellen, Rhiannon.
Awesome.
Wow.
Asif.
That just sounds like Octopath Traveler.
Incorrect.
I don't know. I just had to guess it.
I don't know, John. I'll guess. Genshin Impact.
Incorrect.
Hmm.
TJ.
Can you repeat those names?
Cirilla, Fiona, Ellen, Rhiannon.
Wow, those are good names. Solid names.
Lovely names. 3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Asif.
Fire Emblem series?
Incorrect.
I'm just guessing at JRPGs at this point.
Cirilla is best known for her nickname Ciri in the Witcher series.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. That's a gap in my knowledge for sure.
Here we go. Marcus Phoenix.
Awesome.
John.
Asif.
Oh, awesome.
Gears of War franchise.
Yes.
Poetic. Poetic, you got that one. Yeah, come on.
I had to have that one.
Isaac Clarke.
TJ.
TJ.
Dead Space series.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
William Blazkowicz.
TJ.
Awesome.
TJ.
Damn it.
Wolfenstein.
That's right.
BJ. This is initials.
Corvo Atano.
TJ.
TJ.
Dishonored series.
That's right.
Wow.
I like these are getting
Faith.
like very hard. Sorry.
Faith Connors.
EJ.
Whoop. TJ.
Is that Mirror's Edge?
That is correct.
There it
What
is.
the?
Wow.
It's right there.
Here we go. There's plenty of time,
Yes.
guys. You can do this.
Oh, plenty of time.
Ne-
Here we go.
Here we go. Nico Bellic.
Awesome.
Asif.
Grand Theft Auto 4.
Correct.
Cousin. Yep.
Very good.
I like Nico Bellic.
Oh, Bellic. Sorry, I read it with a
That's fine.
sauce. I gave it sauce.
Is it fine?
I don't know.
Sure.
Someone can
It's
tell
fine.
me. Call us out. At least you're listening. Here we go. Booker DeWitt.
TJ.
TJ.
That is BioShock Infinite.
That is correct.
Yep.
Max Caulfield.
Oh, why do I know
Oh
that?
man, yeah, I really know that.
Asif
Asif.
Caulfield. Is that
3, 2, 1.
is that Alan Wake?
Incorrect.
No.
Max Caulfield.
Hmm.
Do we get a hint?
I know that. No, I know that name. That's a game.
Published by Square Enix.
Oh,
Boy,
I know. I fucking know.
I don't know it.
Published by
Narrative.
Square.
Narrative
I know.
adventure.
I know. Are they
Teenage
can I
melodrama.
ring in again? Can I ring in again yet?
What
Or
kind,
they-
wait, what kind of melodrama?
I said teenage melodrama. Asif
No,
is,
it's
is cleared
John,
in
John,
3.
John,
John.
Life is Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I feel
Lordy.
dumb that I didn't even. I should have guessed that the first time. I was like,
There we go.
that name. I'm like, I know that name. Why
I
do I
have to
know that name?
Say it quick and numerous times because I think Joe. No, I'm kidding, Joe. It's not.
My setup is fine. I'm plugged
Is it?
into the Ethernet. I'm doing great here. I'm hearing everybody when they come in.
I'm currently on 2G, baby.
He's on the Edge network.
I'm edging it
He
up.
dug out his iPhone 1
Yeah.
for this.
Here we go. Alex Vance.
TJ.
TJ.
That is Half-Life again.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or Half-Life Alex.
hmm James Sunderland.
TJ.
TJ.
Silent Hill 2.
Wow.
Perfect.
Wow.
Wow.
He just played that.
He
Just
One of my
played
favorite-
that.
One of my favorite horror games.
That's another game. Didn't you get to try that out at TGS?
I saw a presentation of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Next up, Phelps.
John,
John.
is that also Gears of War?
3.
No.
No.
Ah,
TJ.
dang. That's, oh, okay.
The
TJ.
coal train runs on whole grain.
TJ.
Is that Manhunt?
Incorrect.
Wow.
Oh,
I have no idea.
The answer is L.A. Noir.
Ah,
Jeez Louise, man.
I was
I
in,
like that
I was
game.
in the ballpark, but not quite there.
I like that game.
That was a cool game, yeah.
Here you go. Alex Mason.
Oh gosh,
Alex
John.
Mason. John.
John, is that Call of Duty?
Wow. I was certain no one would get that. That just feels like a forgettable,
that's right.
campaign
that's
protagonist.
This guy.
That might be why I got it.
He came from the best one though. Black Ops was great.
Yeah.
That was back when they were still good.
Good
Next
20
up.
years ago.
Ethan Mars.
EJ.
TJ. 3.
Wait,
2,
no. Oh
1.
gosh. Yeah.
Okay. Floor is open.
Do we get hints? I'm gunning
Let's see.
for
I have
hints.
to look.
I know what the game is. I just couldn't remember its name.
Oh, really? Wait, is it,
Yeah.
what's the name again?
Ethan Mars.
Oh,
This game is developed by Quantic Dream.
John?
John.
is this
3.
Quantum
2.
Break? Is that?
Incorrect.
Oh, dang it.
Asif.
Asif.
It's Quantic Dream.
3. 2.
Heavy Rain.
Correct.
I was about to say Risk of Rain, and then I remembered that was not right at all.
I was gonna say Detroit Becoming Human, but I was like, what's the other one? And I remembered. I don't know.
Morgan. You.
Morgan.
AJ.
TJ.
Oh no! Like I'm
3.
like,
2.
know these names.
1.
Oh, God.
Floor is
That
open.
makes me sad.
Is it Morgan, like Morgan?
Yes.
Okay. I got nothing.
Any
3,
hints?
2.
Any?
1.
What about hints?
No, I don't have any hints prepared.
Dang it.
I apologize. The correct answer is Prey.
Mhm.
And the reason I don't
Wow.
have hints prepared is because I can't remember if it's from old or new Prey.
New
Yeah.
Prey. That's the new
It's
Prey.
New Prey.
Yeah. New
Got
Prey. Underrated game.
Very good.
Some of the best weapons in the FPS.
Adam Jensen.
TJ.
TJ.
Deus Ex.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the same vein.
Jeez.
Aloy Sobek.
TJ.
TJ.
Surprised no one went faster. Horizon series.
I'm
that's
also surprised. Come on, guys.
It was the last name. I was like,
I was good
what
at
the fuck's
Yeah.
I only know her as Alloy. I didn't even think. I was like, she has a last name. It's like
You might
when
know-
you were that
I'm gonna say that pronunciation.
That's their last name.
You know?
Yeah,
you have to have beaten the first game and gotten into the second game to know that.
I was going to say, the last name is super relevant, and also I said it right.
I'm gonna say the pronunciation. I'm gonna just trail off.
I'm gonna just say I don't like that franchise.
No, me neither.
It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
I don't like it.
First game I liked.
And here's another hot take: Death Stranding's better.
I don't think that's a hot take. That's just correct.
Some people hate Death Stranding.
Well, get some taste. Here we go.
Ooh, gosh.
Maya Brooks.
Asif. Is this Alan Wake?
No. Incorrect.
I was confident in my wrong answer.
Is this going to be another one of those? One of these is going to be Alan Wake?
I think so. I feel like one of these is going to be Alan Wake 2 or 1.
Yeah, we're just waiting. Maya
3.
Brooks. What? Any hints?
Maya Brooks, published by Electronic Arts.
Yeah. That doesn't help.
Developed by BioWare.
Oh, I know. I already
Setting. Yes.
What was the setting? Might as well.
No, I'm not saying it.
Oh no. Oh,
I'm not saying it.
Okay. All right. Is it
3, 2, 1.
Anthem? No.
Incorrect.
He
TJ.
got it. He got it. Oh, Anthem's not right?
No.
Okay.
I thought.
TJ, you got a shot.
That was a good pull.
I'm just going to guess by way of elimination. Dragon Age series?
Incorrect. Wow, guys.
Asif. Can I answer it?
Yeah, yes, you can. Yep.
Mass Effect.
That's correct. Mass Effect 3. Yep.
There it is.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
This is the franchise.
wow.
Process of elimination.
It is.
Point to Asif. Next up, Connor Kenway.
Connor Kenway. That sounds like
Connor Kenway.
Let's go right to the
Asif.
No.
Days Gone.
I didn't hear a name.
I said Asif.
Oh, it didn't come through. Wow.
Yeah.
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about, folks at home.
Sorry.
Days Gone.
No, incorrect. Not case.
I want to talk to the president of Discord about this.
I will tell you that Days Gone, an excellent guess for a name like Connor Wade.
Right?
Kenway.
I was like,
Connor
that guy
Kenway.
shops at Abercrombie.
Connor Kenway? Yeah.
The guy sounds like he's at an Abercrombie and Fitch right now. Sounds
It
like
is
that
a good guess.
He's probably in Days Gone.
I can see Connor Kenway. I don't know who it is, what game, whatever. I see him.
Yeah. He could just be riding a motorcycle in Days Gone.
Him. Yeah.
Here come the hints.
Okay.
Developed and published by Ubisoft.
Uh-oh.
Released on
John.
John was first.
Is it Watch Dogs?
Incorrect.
TJ.
Oh, that
TJ.
guy looks like. I'm sorry.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Incorrect.
Oh.
That'd be crazy. A pirate named Connor?
Connor
It's a
Kenway.
Ubisoft game?
An Ubisoft game,
3,
and it's not Watch Dogs?
2, 1.
Asif. Riders Republic.
That's good. No.
John.
Incorrect. All right,
John.
fine. John.
Is it what's that one?
3.
Ghost Recon.
Incorrect. All right. Round is over. The correct
Why
answer
are
is
you guys
Assassin's Creed 3. I was prepared to give it to you, TJ, but then you gave me the wrong number.
I know. I was close. I remembered he was one from one of that era.
I was surprised when you went specific with Black Flag. I was like,
yeah. Okay. You guys ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
I should give double points for this next one.
Nice.
Brea.
TJ. It's Parasite Eve series.
Hell yeah.
Lord.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Here's the Joe special. Okay. Fire Emblem, whatever the heck, and Octopath. Hey. Go ahead.
Oh,
I like
please.
that pack, actually.
I've given this group plenty of non-Joe game rounds. Next up.
It's true.
Frank West.
Johnson.
TJ.
It was me.
What? Yo.
I swear, in my ears, I was first.
In my ears?
I believe that.
Awesome. It's on internet.
Dead Rising series.
Correct. I think it's either TJ has the best internet or
he
he's
has
the
super internet. He's and also Joe, we got to work on your setup. Okay, keep going.
I'm on Spectrum Internet on the good one. But I'm also not hardwired. I'm on Wi-Fi, so we'll see.
I have documented my potato internet issues for a very long time.
That's true.
But in recent months, my internet has been improved. I get like 300 megs down, like 40 megs up. So I'm not on gigabit, but I'm not on potato anymore. So I think it's more just what servers we're connected to talk to each other.
I will say.
I wonder if we can do a game where it's like the last round of Jeopardy style, where everyone has a chance to get it right, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I'll think about that. I'll give that some thought.
A final Jeopardy style answer. Yeah, that'd be nice. What if we could wage our points?
Man, that's such a good idea. Okay, next week.
There you go.
Here we go. Phoenix Wright.
TJ.
Awesome. Come on.
It was TJ in my ears.
This is insane. Spectrum Internet. Is this sponsored by Spectrum Internet? After this game,
no, John, it's not. It's powered by
Spectrum Internet.
Use the promo code Shack Together when signing up for
the
your
promo
internet.
code Joe Stasio.
Tell them Joe sent you.
I would not do that at all because as much as
they're
it
terrible.
might be fast, they also email me like every day asking me to buy more Spectrum.
At the low price of... Okay, I'm sorry.
We have Spectrum at the office.
It's Ace Attorney series, by the way.
Yeah,
you got it.
Obviously.
You got it.
Obviously. Good games. I like Phoenix Wright. Funny games.
We have enough left for everyone to win.
So it's anybody's game.
Yeah, but it's impossible.
It's possible.
Well,
I
no,
don't
it's
like
possible,
catching heat.
but
I am just reporting on the news here.
I just mean technologically, it's impossible.
But like, there's a chance that TJ or I get stumped here. Like, there's that chance that if we don't know the
There's
answer.
some sort of thunderstorm that rolls through TJ's area.
Dallas right now. Just
Yeah,
do a
that's
rain
the
dance
chance.
outside of the
So technically,
Arlington.
yes, there is a possibility.
Here we go. Jade Curtis.
Egypt.
Asif. Well,
Asif, I heard.
okay.
3.
Mortal
2.
Kombat.
Incorrect.
I
John,
was like, does Jade have a last name?
John.
Jade Dragon.
Incorrect.
Damn, man, that was a good. Oh, okay.
TJ.
It's Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh.
Wow, that is actually not what I have. Now I'm looking up the name.
Oh, really? Wait.
Uh-oh.
Is it not? I mean, if it's not, it's not. I don't know her last name. I just assume because of Jade.
Oh.
Nope.
I
No.
see.
Nope.
I Googled it, so I can't answer. What a weird pull for you.
Any hints?
You're not going to get it.
Oh,
this is a
really?
deep
It's that
cut.
bad? Okay.
It's so fucking absurd.
Yeah.
I don't think...
It's like
I don't
super
think-
obscure.
Yes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Knowing the games that you know, John, I don't think you're going to get this, even with hints.
Jade.
It's a 3DS JRPG. Tales of the Abyss.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
That's what I'm saying, John. Like,
Yeah,
you have no
so-
way. You have no
Yeah,
shot.
that's what I was saying before. Technically, there's a shot. But we have a couple things working against us.
There's still a shot. Here we go.
This hint.
Kasumi Goto.
Wait, are you going to tell them at least what the game was
I did.
from?
I did.
What was it?
Is a 3DS JRPG entitled Tales of the Abyss.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah,
don't
sorry.
think
Your
we-
internet was cutting out.
I don't think people
Oh,
heard
great.
Yeah.
Next round is Kasumi Goto.
John,
John.
is this what's
3,
the name? What's Virtua Fighter?
Incorrect.
Asif?
Asif.
Kasumi.
That's a good guess.
Te-
Come on.
Tekken series?
Incorrect.
EJ.
TJ.
Art of Fighting series.
Incorrect. The correct answer is
Wait.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh, she's a thief.
brother. Mass Effect 2.
One of the most beloved games of all time, and not a
Yeah.
deep cut.
No, it's known. That's a known.
I
game.
like Joe's counterpunch. He's like, you love this game too, asshole. All right, and I do. Mass Effect 2
It's
is
a
awesome,
well-liked
obviously.
game.
It was
Very
very,
well-liked game.
very well liked game. Classic.
Next up,
That character,
Leon.
not so much.
Leon Kennedy.
Awesome.
John,
Asif.
The Resident Evil franchise.
Correct.
nice.
He's not even supposed to be here today.
Here we go. Chloe Frazier.
EJ.
TJ.
Also from the Life is Strange series.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
What?
Chloe Frazier.
Oh.
Oh, fucking.
I don't know, but I'll guess. John?
John.
Control?
Incorrect. 3, 2, 1.
Asif.
Asif.
The other game that the Life is Strange devs made.
I'll just stop you there. Incorrect. The correct answer is Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, most notably The Lost Legacy. Chloe.
That's her last name. Okay.
I would not have known that. Yeah.
I know Chloe from the Uncharted series, but man, that was dumb. My bad.
Here we go. Ellie McAllister.
Awesome.
Asif.
The Last of Us series?
Come on.
Incorrect.
What? McAllister. Whoops. You guys can guess.
Floor's
Yeah,
open.
I was gonna guess that.
TJ.
3. TJ.
The Home Alone extended universe.
That's a very good guess, but no, incorrect.
Man,
Not a game.
McAllister's.
His sister.
Buzz McAllister.
Okay.
The correct answer is Borderlands 2.
Oh,
God.
Here we go.
because everyone loves Borderlands.
Garrett Hawk.
TJ.
TJ.
Dragon Age 2?
Well done. The only time I've ever played a game where I didn't have to change the base name, the canon name, because I name all my characters Hawk for some reason.
Nice.
Because I am a hawk.
There you go.
Next up, Goro Majima.
Awesome.
God.
Asif.
Like a Dragon Yakuza series,
Correct. Senua.
and also a pirate game.
Zephyr.
Awesome.
Senua. Asif.
The Senua Hellblade.
Yep.
Senua Sacrifice.
Correct. Next up, Miranda Lawson.
TJ.
TJ.
Mass Effect 2.
Incorrect.
John.
Mm,
John. Did I say
no,
John?
I have
I
to
said
get-
John.
You did. I got to give it to TJ because, yes, she shows up in
Oh.
the second game. She shows up in the second game.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Correct.
Okay, so TJ was right. Okay.
That's good.
I was going to say, I thought she was like a main cast member of the second game.
TJ's really shooting himself in the foot by attaching numbers to these titles. You could just say the franchise.
No,
Well, she's like the- She's like the super powered lady that is working with Cerberus, isn't she?
Miranda Lawson isn't that Amanda? I can't remember. Either way, you're right.
Joe, do you know what you're doing here? I mean, this is
I'm doing my best here, guys.
Very-
Here we go.
shabby.
Chell Johnson.
TJ.
TJ.
Portal series.
Correct. 2 left. The penultimate question, Una Braska.
Ooh, TJ.
TJ.
Ico.
Incorrect.
Oh. Oh, right. Oh, my God. Oh.
3, 2, 1. TJ, no one answered, so I guess the floor's open.
All right. I'll go for it, TJ. Final
Mhm.
Fantasy 10?
That is right. Do you know the name of the affliction Una has?
Playing Final Fantasy games.
I don't know it.
I don't either. I thought maybe you'd have some trivia for me. Two different colored eyes.
Heterochromia.
There you go.
Happens when
The
you play too much Final Fantasy.
Great game. Final question. Nico Minoru, you might say.
I don't
How
like
would
how
he
you
say
change
it?
the pronunciation.
Yeah, that's. I'm going to have to file another appeal.
You come.
I'm just gonna guess, and it's wrong, but I'm gonna guess it because you said Minoru. Asif.
Mhm.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Incorrect.
I'm wrong, but I like Minoru.
John. Power Wash Simulator. Yeah. Okay. Close.
No.
Okay.
All right. This was this was a mistakenly added question,
Close.
but it doesn't matter because TJ wins handily.
Of course. CJ, first of all, congratulations, because
Congratulations on the ping. Solid
Congratulations
internet
on two
speeds.
things. The internet,
Thank
but
you.
also there were a lot of games that
He knew.
there's no way in hell I would have guessed
TJ.
that.
TJ knew, but yeah. At the same time, congratulations on your
What was
ping.
Nico Minoru from? I couldn't remember. I know the name, but I couldn't remember.
She is a Marvel superhero found in several Marvel games.
Yes, that's where I heard she was a big character in Midnight Suns.
There you go.
Of
There you go.
course. Sorry.
Critically acclaimed
Critically
Midnight Suns.
acclaimed Midnight Suns.
I loved that
Hey,
game.
guys,
I've always been meaning to play that. So the final score is John with 5 points, Asif with 13 points, TJ with a whopping 22 points,
Damn.
That's a lot of
and
fun.
our champion today.
Very
Wow,
nice.
thank you.
GG's.
Well, the good news is John did not Jill Stein me today.
Well, I will tell you, if this were a local matchup,
It would have been closer.
I would have been much closer.
Yeah,
Much
you
closer.
would have had the Red Dead answer. You
Would have
probably
had Luigi, Mario. I had Brooklyn, New York. If this were where they came from instead of whence, but it wasn't.
It was the Booker DeWitts and the Ayabrias that got me through.
Yeah,
it's the Stasio gamography sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, all these classic games that I love, like Life is Strange. Come on, give me some
true
credit.
Man of the people. The 3DS JRPG Beyond the Abyss.
Come on, let me throw one screwball.
Yeah,
guys, remember that?
Not a single Zelda character, though. Come on.
Yeah, I know, guys. Listen, there's a lot of
time
games.
We had with the 3DS JRPG Beyond the Abyss.
No,
I actually took Link off the list because I was looking for characters that had a first and last name.
He has a last name.
Well, I don't know it.
Link. Negative 1 point. Sorry, I'm just lashing out now. Now I'm just lashing out. Joe,
is it Link how, Mario? Zelda's dad is alive in Echoes of Wisdom.
Oh wow, you're not supposed to say that.
It's in the first few seconds.
He's in the first. Yeah, it's like a. It's
but also,
right
like, has anyone noticed? Like, does Zelda not have a mom?
Yeah.
Like ever?
Yeah, she
it was immaculate.
Queen of Hyrule.
It was immaculate conception, but with her dad. There you go.
How that birth went, I don't want to know.
But no, it's really kind of a cool prequel. Like that kind of thing is pretty. It's nice to see. Like
her origin
setting, her origin story. Yeah,
yeah, and like that she doesn't know Link. Like he's just a swordsman to her. That's cool. I just think it's a cool story.
Neat.
Yeah. I'm loving that game. It's great. All the internet stuff around it's great too. Yeah, good game, Joe. Even though I lost because of TJ's internet speeds.
I do,
Joe. I will say, no, TJ, you crushed us handily. Not only thanks to your internet, but please provide the coupon code and the promo code, and we will all sign up. Thank you.
I'm not taking anything away from TJ. I think he just flat out
crushed
won.
it. He crushed it. He crushed it. Yeah.
I will say that there were at least 8 times where in my head I said it first, and I'm sure John in his head.
We're going to do Jeopardy mode. If
you get us buzzers, that'd be cool.
I will say it's the same thing. I probably had like around 10 times, but even with 10,
we still would
have gotten smoked. Yeah,
I would have beat TJ by 1, or no, like
GG's. GG's to us.
It's fine. Yeah, I would have won. All I know is that it was a good game.
Now. Yeah,
it was a good game, and TJ showed off knowledge of games that I didn't know. So, like, it's not. I don't.
You know that most people didn't. Joe knew, of course. Sorry,
I'm not putting an asterisk on this one, but TJ has a track record of beating my ass in these games. I don't know what I did, but TJ
he's good.
Comes in here and whoops on me. And then sometimes Joe just throws 5 Guilty Gear questions at him, and I'm like,
if you'll notice, there were none. I made a point.
After the
we got to get to story time. That's right. We're long in the tooth here. We got to do that.
That's right. We'll be back with story time, so stay tuned. Welcome to Storytime. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. We already hit the Storytime stingies, but I'll just say it again. F-Zero 99 got an awesome update, and F-Zero Climax and F-Zero GP Legend are on Switch Online as of, I think, October 11th. But yeah, what a time to be an F-Zero fan. Moving on. Reviewsa. Ozzy reviewed the Jackbox Naughty Pack, says parental guidance suggested. It's not a good entry.
Why? Really?
These games tend to be like, it's a function of what games they included. It seems like they missed on a couple of them. Ozzy didn't like the canvas size in Dirty Drawful. He said the Let Me Finish game feels half-baked, and also that there's no exciting final rounds, which I think is like a huge part of these. So it's just kind of like, it's another entry. I feel like they make too many of these, and I want a You Don't Know Jack. I want them to make that game again, which, like, I don't know if it's possible. Yeah, sure. But, like, to me, that was, like, talk about a great final round. Like, that, the build up to the last question, the gibberish questions, like, everything they did I feel like they've lost some of that magic with this. It's almost an annual thing now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they need to make these annually.
We still play Quiplash 3 from like 6 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some entries where like you go back just to play Quiplash, right? Or you go back to play like Drawful or but this doesn't sound like it's too great. He did say that the art and presentation complement the M rating beautifully. Remote play option is still great. I agree. Like being able to pull up an instance of this game on a console and then everyone else in the room get on their phones and be able to play together is cool. But that's been around for a while. And then he did say faking it all night long provided some good laughs. But yeah, Ozzy's a fan of this series. For him to give it a 6, he was not impressed.
I'd just like them to take the good games and keep adding content like questions and topics to them.
Like make it a live service game. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. But I think games like this, they're going to keep doing this until they don't make money. So they're making money. We had another review, new reviewer alert, Josh Childs, formerly of, I think he wrote some stuff over at loopbreak.gg. He reviewed Hollowbody for us. It's a survival horror game played safe. Got a 7 out of 10. He liked the controls, the setting is eerie, and the world building was cool. He did say one of the negatives was camera placement can interfere with visibility of usable items. That's kind of annoying. Areas can feel repetitive. It doesn't do much new with the genre. But yeah, if you're looking for a spooky game, Hollowbody's out there. Got a 7 out of 10. And then I believe Donovan reviewed I Am Your Beast. This game's cool. Just from an art style perspective, it's an FPS from the Strange Scaffold devs. It's kind of cell shaded as all hell. It's fast. It's a cool little revenge story. It's got a lot of replayability, easy to jump in and out of. He did say the negatives were like the mission select UI was kind of clunky and it would benefit from like more objective variety to the missions. But yeah, if you just want to turn off your brain and play an FPS, I think I Am Your Beast is a really good option this year.
Very cool art.
For like a single player one. Yeah. And yeah, you got 9 out of 10 to Shacknews. They were super stoked. I saw they retweeted they tweeted our review. It's nice of them. So that was Reviewza. On to, oh wow, you have a new one called Newsa. Also trademarked with a Z.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a lot of news. Disney Dreamlight Valley's Jungle Getaway update adds Timon and Pumbaa.
About time.
Did it. We finally did it.
So that's it. I don't need to say anything else. Avatar: The Last Airbender is getting a AAA video game adaptation. That's cool. They're really doing a lot with that IP. They did like a live action thing on Netflix. I guess was decent. Have you guys been watching Masahiro Sakurai's YouTube channel?
Every time I do, I'm like, I gotta tune in every time, and I have not kept up with it.
Well, the nice thing is like it's all evergreen, so you can just go back and watch it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, TJ.
I haven't watched all the episodes, but I do kind of try to keep after him because it's not even just like all just game dev advice. It's also just really interesting insights into how he creates his stuff.
Yeah, like stories about how they used Kirby attack mechanics to build Smash. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, he's great. I also think like in his time off from developing games, he's been playing games and he's like, some of you make really shitty games. So he's like, I'm going to tell you how to make better games. I feel like that's what I feel like when I watch his videos though. He's like trying to help people make better games. 'Cause he did this series, like it was like right when Multiversus and the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, when those games were dropping, he made like 3 videos about how he made Smash. And I was like, this is directly meant for these people. So yeah, this series is wrapping up this month. He's going to do like a final scheduled episode on the 15th of October. If you've missed it, it's called Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games. He has an English subtitle channel as well as a Japanese channel for it. It's great. But yeah, he announced that he was going to wind down the channel earlier this year. And yeah, seems like he's on track for that. Which means that there's a Smash Brothers that's about to begin development.
Wow.
And speaking of Nintendo, Nintendo lawyers are busy these days. You know, they were suing Pal World last week. Well, this week they showed up at the developer of Ryujinx, the Switch emulator, and they made an agreement to not develop the Switch emulator anymore. So according to this post to the Discord for Ryujinx, Nintendo contacted one of the developers and offered an agreement to stop working on the project, remove the organization, and all related assets he's in control of. That certainly sounds like there was a negotiation there, right? It wasn't just one-sided. But yeah, they stopped. What's interesting is that this comes after what happened with Yuzu earlier this year, where Yuzu also got shut down, and Nintendo hit them with settlement fees because they claimed... The thing that I find interesting about both these stories and what's going on with Switch emulation as opposed to, like, I don't know, Dolphin or something, is that Nintendo is not claiming the usual copyright infringement here. They're claiming that they are decrypting copyright protection in these software, Ryujinx and in Yuzu, to allow ROMs to be played. And they're hitting them for that, not necessarily all the piracy and stuff, not enabling piracy. It's that they're breaking the encryption, and they've been able to now get 2 people out. A lot of people are like, this is terrible for game preservation and stuff. That argument works when it's not the current gen. But when you're in the current gen, and I don't think it's a coincidence that 2 weeks before Echoes of Wisdom dropped, the ROM was leaked, and there was video and screenshots all over the internet. Most of those screenshots were taken inside of Yuzu or Ryujinx. So it's like, it reminds me of like Apple iTunes, like iPod before iTunes, right? iPod was like a theft shuttle for Napster files. And it's like Apple wasn't doing anything wrong, but they had become a theft shuttle. I think if you're emulating Switch games and they're being played before the game's even out, I don't think you really have... I'm not saying that the software is at fault, but the person doing that is clearly breaking the law. So Nintendo's mad about this. And I think that their whole thing that they want to have backwards compatibility with Switch to Switch 2, it's less valuable if these things exist out there. So interesting times. Emulation is not illegal. You can have a ROM of a file of a cartridge that you own. That's perfectly legal. So I think Nintendo needs to... I don't know. There's got to be some middle ground here. Otherwise, it'll just keep happening with new emulators coming out. Or like a lot of people preserved the Yuzu build. So like there's people out there still playing on Yuzu.
It was always my understanding that the thing that really sunk Yuzu was that they monetized part of it.
That they had a Patreon. Yep.
Which I don't know if Ryujinx did any of that, but if they didn't, I wonder if it was more of a case that they just didn't feel like they had the monetary grounds to go to court.
I think
even that though, right? Even that is not technically a problem. I mean, look at the Analog Pocket. That's a monetized piece of hardware that is reverse engineered to play, games that are sure. But copyright law doesn't have a time fix to it. Like this is on paper the same as the Analog Pocket.
I guess my point is that Nintendo's not litigious about retro stuff like that because it's not taking money out of their pocket directly. I think that's their attitude. I don't think it's the right attitude, but I think that's the attitude that they have.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's a mess. But I think they're really trying to do something about this ahead of the Switch 2 launch. And if they don't, it's going to be messy. But honestly, like, how many people are actually doing this? How much is it affecting them? We'll see. On to the next one. Devolver Digital launches Big Fan Games publishing label for movie, television, and comic adaptations. So at a time where everyone's running to make video game movies, Devolver's making movie video games. So that's something.
Pretty cool.
I guess at a time when Annapurna's falling off, it makes sense for them to do this because it felt like Annapurna was kind of seeing some success in that space with their publishing. But yeah, we'll see what Devolver does.
I kind of miss schlocky video retro style video games based on movies like Goonies 2.
Or like the DuckTales game. There's been some really good there've been good ones, there've been bad ones. The Batman for NES, I remember I had that, and like I was a huge Batman fan. It was the late 80s or whatever, and that game was so hard. Like some of those games were oppressively hard because we were still coming out of the arcade era where they were trying to eat up all your quarters.
That soundtrack cooked though.
Mm-hmm. It did. There's a really good Mega Ran track that he samples the Continue music from that.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah.
Great website.
Mega Ran's on tour right now.
Bigfangames.com. Great website. Beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you build it?
No.
Okay. It's just like, are you touting your own work?
No.
TJ, you wrote this story. Eve Galaxy Conquest 4X Strategy mobile spinoff gets October release date.
Yes. This is a 4X game in the Eve universe.
On mobile.
Yes.
Yikes.
Wow.
Well, and it's done by they know exactly what market they're targeting because the developer is CCP Shanghai.
Yeah. That makes sense.
There's a lot of stuff in the EVE Online universe that just kind of like might get buried by the fact that it has just such a massive player base and most of those people only play EVE and kind of create their own stories. But there is lore in EVE Online, and it looks like this game is going to kind of put that to a sort of 4X format, which sounds fun.
That does sound fun. Cool. Well, good for them. You know, they're not going to win Mobile Game of the Year. I'm sorry. It's going to Balatro. But, you know, good for them. Good thing. We like seeing that. Yeah, we got some Kojima news. Hideo Kojima signed with Hollywood talent agency William Morris Endeavor, WME. He's gonna start. He's finally just gonna make a damn movie. I think is what's happening. Which good. Death Stranding's basically a movie anyway, so let's just go full movie. I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
do
this.
it.
What do you guys think? You think it's time for a Kojima movie?
I think it's funny that the amount of people on the internet that read this story as Hideo Kojima joins the WWE and like fell to their knees screaming to the sky when they first looked at it was really funny.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, "Wait a second, did I just read that right?" And
that would be better. That would be unprecedented. I would love that.
Especially if like he came in as like a writer or like he joined the Wyatt Six or something. Like I don't know. There's a lot of things that he could do in the WWE that would be awesome.
Do you think Sakurai is winding down the channel because he too is gonna launch a wrestling career?
They're gonna be the new tag team champions.
Oh man,
I could see that. I think we lost John.
Yeah, we did.
Did he like leave?
Probably he didn't text me, so I'm not sure.
Anyway, it might have been his crappy internet for all we know.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, yeah, so that's not the only Kojima news we had. TJ knows something in that Metal Gear Solid Triangle demo. Hideo Kojima is credited in the demo that was at TGS. So maybe the cold relationship between he and Konami, maybe it's thawing a little.
Yeah, it was something that was like, you know, it seems like it should be just common sense to do that, but it's not often the case in the games industry. Like, there have been a lot of QA teams, localizers get left off a lot. LA Noire famously had a lot of people that were left off the credits when it first came out that Rockstar had to then, like, put a special page on its website for him later. And so sitting there and just, like, watching that presentation and seeing Hideo Kojima's name come up, and it was like, wow, good for them. Good for them to do the right thing and give credit to the guy that wrote that story.
Finally. It's about time that they're mending that relationship because it sucks. The way that ended really was shitty. I don't know why this is happening, but they're bringing a Starship Troopers game to VR.
Yeah. Is it because of Helldivers?
I don't know. It's because Facebook came up to them with money.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It doesn't look, I don't know. I don't want to judge it. I haven't played it, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Epic Games. Where do I start here? Epic Games announces launch everywhere multi-platform incentive for Unreal Engine. So they're dropping their royalties, allowing people to ship on Epic Games Store and Steam simultaneously, and dropping royalties for Unreal Engine from 5% to 3.5% if you do that. Also making that an Android policy as well. So, you know, it's good for devs, but it's just, I don't understand what they're doing.
They're really trying to get people to go on Epic Games Store. Like, really, really trying hard.
Yeah. And they're not, and it's not working. And I think companies have even come out and said that when we release on Epic Game Store, we're not selling as much as we would otherwise. So I don't know. I understand like why it's happening from their perspective, but I don't know if it's going to work. And then they also announced this mobile initiative yesterday, and they're like, we're going to have our own app store, and it's going to have free mobile games on it. And I was like, we have plenty of free mobile games, you guys. Like, that's not the problem.
Right.
I guess the big deal would be a better revenue split for those free mobile games, which is good, but I don't know. And then, like, there's people who are, like, pro Apple that are like, Apple should be able to do whatever they want with the App Store. And I'm like, there's clearly a monopoly here when Apple doesn't even have 40% market share of smartphones in the world, but they make about 80% of the profits from smartphones. So there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
And I just think it's gross that, like, American consumers are now cheering for corporations more than they are themselves. And that's messed up. And it's like one of these scenarios where, like, there is no good guy. Epic's bad guy, Apple's a bad guy. But in the grand scheme of things, Epic fighting Apple, they're the little guy. So I am cheering for them. But I don't think... I think what they've done has varying degrees of success. They did win in Europe. So now you can sideload Epic Game Store on an iPhone and an Android over there. And they did win in America against Google because Google's emails that came out in Discovery were damning. Cassandra Pichai's a clown. But yeah, so like you can now play Fortnite on Android on an American phone. But you can't do that on an Apple phone yet. So we'll see where this goes from here. But it all boils down to Tim Sweeney didn't want to give Tim Cook 15% of revenue of Fortnite. That's where this all started. So it's like, it's born out of greed, but it's been, they like to portray Tim Sweeney in these press releases as the guy fighting, you know. I'm like, no, you're fighting for money. I still think the funniest outcome here is Apple should just buy Unreal. They should just buy Epic Games.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Problem solved.
I mean, they could.
It would be the worst thing to happen to the video games industry ever if that happened, but I don't
think it could though. Apple.
Why not? We just let Microsoft buy.
But...
We just let Microsoft buy Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
We just let that happen.
Well, what's the value of Epic anyway? What is that?
They have enough lying around in the couch cushions in Cupertino.
Like how much do we? How much?
Somewhere around $20 billion.
No way.
That
Epic has to be a lot more than that, right?
No.
20 billion.
The only reason why it would probably never happen anytime soon.
Sorry, most recent round, $32 billion.
So it's because Roblox is what's their market cap? 45 billion.
Sure, but like they're publicly traded, and you have to remember Tim Sweeney actively tanked the company's revenue when he pulled Fortnite. Their revenues dropped like 40% the year that they pulled Fortnite from iOS, because that was, I think, PlayStation 4 or PlayStation ecosystem is their number one platform for Fortnite, but Apple iPhone used to be number one.
Yeah.
So when he did that, he tanked the valuation of the company. But yeah, they're valued somewhere around $32 billion right now, based on the most recent funding round that I think
Lego, quite the bargain.
Lego, Disney, and Sony, I believe, all participated in that round. Yeah, it's not. That's my point, though, John. Is like Apple has that lying around.
It does have lying around, yeah.
Or they could just do a stock deal.
That's crazy.
The one thing that keeps that from happening, isn't Tim Sweeney still the majority stakeholder in Epic Games? And if so, like, do they have any means to oust him?
No.
There you go. That's the thing that keeps it from happening.
Yeah, no, but to play ball.
He would, but I'm telling you, there's people I'm not going to say who I've talked to at Epic, but a lot of people had stock options in Epic, and they had to take a pay cut, or like they had to slash their incentives in half because of all these decisions hurting the company's revenue. So to your point, John, a better run Epic Games definitely should be valued maybe closer to 70 or 100 billion. But they've made bad business decisions. I think Tim Sweeney has this fetish about Epic Game Store being viable. It's not. It loses money. I think the one year that they disclosed the amount, it lost almost $1 billion because they're paying for these exclusives. They're paying these developers when they give us free keys. And they're still not at feature parity with Steam. So I think the Epic Game Store was supposed to be this thing that was going to be their crowning achievement ahead of their IPO. And instead, we're in now, year 4 of legal battles, and that Apple has more money than anyone, and they can afford the best lawyers on the planet. And we're seeing that play out. We're also seeing Apple can just walk into Washington and drop a duffel bag in every congressman's office, and they'll just vote in favor of whatever Apple wants. So, it's just, I don't know. I think you're right. Epic Games at $32 billion does seem cheap.
Yeah.
But it's for a reason.
Yeah. Crazy.
So, but I do think the outcome here that I'm waiting for is someone tries to just straight up buy Epic, and what better way to solve. Can you imagine Fortnite goes exclusive to iOS? The world would end.
They just wouldn't have that. I don't think.
Yeah, you would hope
they could have that. I mean, that's not.
It's the regulators in Washington would actually wake up for once. But I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember a year or two ago when the entire games media was cheering against the FTC and for Xbox. How'd that work out?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying Call of Duty compared to Netflix.
It's not just
Fortnite.
COD though. It's COD. It's World of Warcraft. It's Overwatch. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I don't know. It's just funny how the idea of Epic being acquired is that's crazy. But a $70 billion deal just got closed in this industry. And that was crazy. And they've horribly managed it. But yeah, these are supposed to be quickies. But that's an interesting story. And it's hard to, I find Tim Sweeney to be hard to root for because he says awkward and stupid things a lot. But I understand the motivation, and it does help developers in the long run because we're going to get a better cut, at least of the first $1 million that you make on an iOS app now. We got Greedfall 2 trailer?
Mm-hmm. More than a trailer, cool. Right? Yeah.
Launch trailer, sorry. Early access launch trailer. So this game is either out in early access or... Yeah, Lucas wrote a preview of it. Said it's an intriguing inversion of a New World story. Looks pretty cool. I saw people still talking about playing the first Greedfall, so it seems like this is coming at a perfect time. That first game is still popular. Moving on, Krafton, the PUBG developers or publishers, they're developing a mobile version of Palworld. So my question to you guys, is it Palworld Go? Is it Palworld Trading Card Game Pocket? Or is it Palworld Unite?
I thought you were going to say Sleep, but that's on Switch, right?
No, Pokemon Sleep's on the phone too.
Oh, okay.
Some people get sued by Nintendo and shut down what they're doing. Palworld gets sued by Nintendo and announces a mobile game.
And has this big ass booth at TGS too, man.
Massive.
Pounding their chests at TGS. I was okay, go off, Palworld. Good luck with the fight with Apple. Or not Apple, Nintendo. Nintendo lawyers and Apple lawyers, though, man. I can't think of two. Those are probably the most terrifying legal teams to go up against on Earth. I'm sure Microsoft's up there, too. But yeah, what the hell are they going to do with Palworld on mobile?
I mean, I don't know that I know base Palworld well enough to extrapolate a mobile version in my head, but I mean, it is cool to see the brazen, we're expanding this thing. F you factor here.
we made Palworld with guns.
I will say this.
Pokemon with guns. Sorry.
I'm regularly impressed and at the same time a little groaning at how fast and how frequently studios in that area iterate off of each other's games and basically produce something with the same idea. To which I'd say Genshin Impact kind of gave the blueprint for an open world action adventure formula on mobile. And it feels like a lot of other developers over there are now following that blueprint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's certainly a strategy that we're seeing more and more often. Mm-hmm. I'll keep an eye on this. I don't know. I don't actually like the mainline Pokemon games that much. Mm-hmm. And just anymore. Obviously I played Red and Blue and Yellow, but at this point I'm kind of done. So when they were oh, it's Pokemon with guns, I'm that doesn't sound fun. I don't want to do that. But we'll see. People we'll like see. It. They're still playing it. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Krafton, diversifying, making new games. And then we couldn't have a Shack Together episode without talking about artificial intelligence, right? Because we all love artificial intelligence so
That's
much.
Right.
OpenAI, company that lost $5 billion last year, is being valued at $157 billion in a recent $6.6 billion funding round.
They could buy Epic Games.
No, they couldn't. They don't have enough cash. But they could buy it with their stock. So what I think's interesting is that Apple was rumored to be part of this round. They are not in it. The companies that are in this round include Microsoft, NVIDIA, and SoftBank. SoftBank being the largest telecom company in Japan. NVIDIA obviously being the company that sells them their pickaxes. And Microsoft already has a sizable investment in OpenAI. So this comes just a week after a bunch of, the last three original executives outside of Sam Altman quit. And also there's news that they're moving away from a non-profit org into a for-profit business.
Right.
Which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We had a few conversations in the chatty about this. Like I mentioned, there's like, someone's like, where's the billions of income coming from? I'm like, there's no income at OpenAI. The valuation is built on the hope that the company will eventually turn a profit. They lost $5 billion last year and they face a ton of competition. There's Anthropic, there's Perplexity, there's like all these other AIs. Facebook has their Llama thing that they're doing that's open source. You have Apple Intelligence, you obviously have Google Gemini. This reminds me of the .com bubble, where like not all these companies will succeed, but sure, one of them will come out of it and they'll probably be on top, right? But yeah, like I do think I mentioned this in the chatty. There's several threads about this. So the AI gold rush has blinded many Silicon Valley CEOs and boards to the actual economic reality of this emerging industry. It's not unlike what we saw with how valuations fluctuated and exploded in the years 1997 to 2000 in the .com bubble. And that ended great for markets, so I'm sure nothing bad will happen here, guys. But yeah, this does seem like one of those moments where you're like, that seems a bit much, especially when the CEO said, like, we can't even train our data without infringing copyright. So I don't know if that $6 billion is some of that's going to be kicked over to us because he's stealing our shit. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I do find it interesting that Apple bowed out of the round. So maybe Apple seems to already be balking at AI, which is funny because they haven't even shipped Apple Intelligence yet.
Right.
And they're already like, we're not going to do this. So anyway, those are the stories. My God.
Wow. News.
There's a lot of news stories.
Very news.
And you can read, John said he got a call, so he had to break off. But yeah, thanks for putting together that rundown. That was a crazy amount of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, that's all the news we have. So let's get to our community notes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few questions and comments from the Shacknews community, which you can join by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty or by emailing us at, I'm going to say, tj.denzer@shacknews.com. I think Greg emailed you about an episode, DJ. I don't know if you got it.
At least one email every episode I've been on so far.
So that's happening. But yeah, on YouTube, prolific YouTube commenter Haas Mamu had to say, Johnny Dip out sighting? Awesome. He adds so much to the show. If only John was here to hear that comment.
Wow.
And then he also pointed out, this was funny. David is taking Joe's game serious by shortening his name to Dave. And it's funny because, like, TJ, you've known David for a while.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anyone call him Dave?
No. But David is
so
also the master of min-maxing when it comes to games.
Yeah, he min-maxed Joe's game. And it's like, I'm really in a tough spot because, today, John 1 syllable, TJ 2 letters. Asif 2 syllables, but like takes longer to say than TJ, right? So like,
have you seen the Resident Evil remake speedrun we did for the Shacknews Awards?
I was there. I was sitting next to him.
That was the epitome of hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, with me being the coughing baby.
David is insane at that. Yeah, it was funny because on the show, Joe had multiple Resident Evil questions, and I was like, "This isn't fair." Joe, like,
I didn't know that though. In my defense.
everyone looks at Dave and they're like, oh, he's FPS god or whatever, and like he's written about Mortal Kombat and he knows a lot about Blizzard. He's written multiple books about Diablo, but like, yeah, he is an RE fanatic and like so good at the game. I've watched him do the RE2 remake speedrun, and then he was doing the RE4 remake speedrun last year. It was excellent. It was really funny. I love stuff like that though, like the side-by-side races and stuff. That stuff's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is very good at those games. But yeah, shortening his name to Dave was hilarious. My brother called me up. It's like, does David ever actually go by Dave? I'm like, no, never. It's just really funny. So yeah, that's it. If you want to, you can find us on YouTube, all sorts of other places if you want to interact with our content. And if you made it this far into the podcast, which is long as hell, you probably like our show. So go to your local podcast facility, vote for Shack Together, tell them that we're better than Kind of Funny Games so that we will rank higher. Yeah, I know. Just do it. I'm saying, like, you're not watching 2.5 hours of. If you're listening to this podcast, you don't have time for any other gaming podcast. So
that's true.
Clearly, we're the best. So just let the internet know. It helps us grow, and that'd be cool. That's it. You can subscribe to our podcast on all sorts of places. If Joe gets this edited tonight, which I think he will, it'll be embedded in the evening reading article tonight, and then there will also be a separate article that goes live on Friday, because we're recording this on Thursday here in America on the internet. And that's
in
it.
In America on the internet is a t-shirt waiting to be made.
Yeah.
There you go. That might be our new. That's the Shack Together tagline. Shack Together in America on the internet. You're back in America, TJ. But before we go, like, what's one thing that you would want to tell people about Japan?
Give us a mic drop.
Yeah, like, what's your thing? Like, what's your like final take on Japan?
The travel system in Japan makes me mad that nobody else ever puts up that kind of infrastructure, because it makes traveling the area 1,000,000 times easier, and you can get everywhere on the cheap.
Yeah, like life as a pedestrian in Japan.
So easy.
Very easy. And like, it's not just the trains, it's the elevated sidewalks. Like, they just do these things. Like, New York City would be way better with elevated sidewalks, in my opinion. Like, not having to cross the street, I think that would do for traffic there. It's just, I agree. It's one of the most well-designed cities ever. And there's like, if you're an anime fan or whatever, and like you go to these certain places, it's just cool to see those places in real life. Did you go to Shibuya?
We didn't make it to Shibuya, but Akihabara was cool as hell. I loved that area.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I agree. Our final message is infrastructure is cool. And America with high-speed rails would be an awesome country.
It sure would.
Like, why? Like, why can't I get on a high-speed rail and go to New York, Joe? That would be cool.
I would love that.
I know you're not a fan of flying either, but yeah, like being able to like get around that entire country with a rail pass is just awesome. And yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad you guys made it home okay, even though Greg's on his deathbed. He'll be okay.
Hand wash, antibiotics, multivitamins, and plenty of water. That's my secret.
Wait, you like give yourself antibiotics before?
Well, I mean, no, I guess the probiotic drink is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't take antibiotics if you're not sick.
All right. Yeah.
Probiotics, though. 2 bottles
of Yakult, which is easy to get your hands on. You can buy it in like cartons of like 24, and I drink a couple of those in the days before a trip, and I drink a couple of those in the days after a trip. And I wash my face and hands frequently, take a multivitamin, keep my water up. That's how I don't get sick.
Yeah, take that, Greg. Listen.
Yeah, take notes. Awesome. Cool. That's it. We did it. This is where we wave at the camera that's not until whenever we get.
Even the ticker is waving.
Oh, yeah. Sipu. Shacknews is that podcast universe. There you go.
Yeah.
Check it off your bingo card.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Shack Together is a Shacknews production.
Shack Together is a Shacknews production.
Shack Together is a Shacknews production.
Shacknews is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including Shacknews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shacknews content is readable and viewable at shacknews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shacknews, Shacknews Interviews, and Shacknews VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shacknews Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shacknews is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shacknews ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shacknews swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.